This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, welcome aboard, boys and girls. Time to rock and roll from beautiful Hialeah Park, where we are in the second floor poker room. Come on out and join us. Always appreciate it. They just gave away a Mercedes on Saturday night here. See, what's the next giveaway? What's the next car they're going to give away, man? They're always giving away. They've given away an Alfa Romero. They've given away a Ford F-150 Lightning. And now they gave away a Mercedes. What is next here at Hialeah Park? Didn't see a car parked down there yet. Not yet. Not yet. But I'm sure there's one coming. And I'm sure they're going to end up giving out something else when it's all said and done.
Yeah, or as Steve said, the cash for those vehicles.
Or the cash, yeah. Which was interesting. I didn't think about that people actually say, nah, I'll take the cash. I mean, listen, if you have a brand new car at home or a good car at home or whatever, why would you want another car and insurance and all that stuff? So I get
a little extra betting. Pad the betting a little bit there.
Yeah. The electric truck is the one that one is the one that really got me excited because obviously I was this close to getting an electric car the last time I got my vehicle, my Toyota Camry, over at Toyota of Hollywood, by the way. And I wanted to get an all-electric car, but the Zinn family had not had really an electric car yet that I was, and so I know Toyota's been behind, actually. I know that the new CEO might be introducing more electric cars now for Toyota. I'm really shocked that I'm shocked that by now Toyota doesn't have like 3 different models of electric cars and dominating and giving Tesla a run for their money because Toyota's a monster. But it's nice to see Acura is going to have it next year. At this time next year, I hope to be driving an all-electric car, which I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be fun to be driving an all-electric car. What do you think?
No, definitely. I was going to say, maybe you don't want to be the first one to make the car, but there's other cars out there now. So it's not, like they should be in the game by now. Yeah. I would think. I mean, maybe they are, but they haven't said anything. Yeah. I haven't seen anything.
All the companies will eventually get, it'll dominate them because.
What if they ever go to like the sports racing cars to
be electric?
Electric, yeah. Because even the newer ones now, like when you go, they're not like what they used to be.
Oh, you can.
They're still loud, but they're not as loud. Like
right.
like when you used to go, it used to be like, oh my goodness. Now it's
right.
It's not like it used to be.
Go.
Yeah.
Right. I know what you're saying. I know my dad had race cars back in the day when he used to race out in Sebring and
you used to go there, okay,
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He had.
We used to go to Hialeah Speedway a lot.
Hialeah Speedway too, stock cars. You know that.
Now
I
eat
at
the Applebee's that's there.
Right. Exactly. Hialeah Speedway. God, I missed that place, dude.
I grew up there.
God, I loved Hialeah Speedway. It was so fun. Smash 'em Up Derby they had there too. They had the Crash Up Derby back in those days. I don't even know. Is that even allowed anymore nowadays? Anywhere in the country? Do they have like anybody?
I think they do, but it's not like it used. Like now, you have to have the roll bars. Like
I'm sure
there's a lot more rules. You can't just roll out there in Dad's
lawsuits, bro.
Yeah, you can't roll out there in Dad's. What they used to have wagons out there and everything else.
Anything, and those people probably weren't even wearing seatbelts.
No. I guarantee you they weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
They might have had a waist belt, but they weren't wearing a full seatbelt. They probably had something to keep them from moving around in some of those cars.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Because even some of them only had the one seat. Like they had taken the. Because at the time you used to have the front seat used to be
a whole complete seat.
Yeah, I forgot what that was called. But yeah. You could have the whole front seat, cut it in half, and boom.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Crazy shit, dude. But yeah, that is stuff. Man, Big O, it's like a drug, and I'm hooked. Well, thank you, Mr. Torres. I appreciate you, man. Thank you all out there. And by the way, thanks to Isais, because he didn't even wait for the show. He made a donation to the show before, and it was Bitcoin. He made a Bitcoin donation on Cash App, because you can make a Bitcoin donation on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. So I'd be remiss if I did not thank Isais for his Bitcoin donation today, because that gets me excited. That gets me very, very happy when you make a Bitcoin donation. That's my favorite donation of them all. And we always tell you on Cash App or Venmo, because we get the complete donation there, whereas on YouTube they take 30% away. Even though, hey, listen, if that's the way you can only send it by Super Chat, then God bless you. Appreciate you all out there, however it is that you can support the show. I talked to Pat in Nashville yesterday. Yeah. Because Pat in Nashville, we're gonna hook up with Pat in Nashville next month for Crowded House, and then we were planning, because that second Cure date now in Atlanta, right? So he already got Cure tickets, and I got Cure tickets. So we're not allowed to try to get the second night in Atlanta. But Creeper, he failed. He didn't get the initial thing. So he's allowed to do it. So he's going to buy our tickets and Pat and his ticket.
He's got quite the little thing going here.
Yeah. So we're going to do Pat the favor that he got us the tickets. Now we'll try to get him the second night of the Cure. And he's only going to go solo, because I think he said his wife is not, she won't go 2 nights. That's kind of like my wife. My wife loved that I took her to the Cure. She loved the concert, dude. My daughter loved it too. I'm taking them again. But they probably wouldn't go a second night. You know what I mean? It's not that. I'm the fanatic. Can I have your autograph? So it's an old song.
Is it 2 different sets, or are you going same show both nights?
They do two different. They change.
Okay.
60 to 70% of their entire set list.
Okay.
The last time I saw him twice at the what's it called, the amphitheater down in Miami, the Bayfront.
Okay.
I saw him 2 nights in a row. I went with my buddy, and then the next night I went with my wife and my daughter. 54 different songs in 2 nights.
Okay. All right then.
So I'm going to see him twice in Atlanta and once here, and we'll probably see all the songs pretty much they have that they're touring with. You know what I mean? And they must be touring with 80, 90, 100 songs that they know. Because how do you change it up that much? You know, Metallica does the same thing. They play a lot of different songs too. They're very conscious of that. I wish more bands would do that. It pisses me off when bands just get the same set list and they play the entire world with the same set list every single night. And that's just not right.
There's not a lot of bands that could do that, though. Is there? I mean, you could throw some songs out there to play, just to play, but
But you think
are there that many different songs from like most groups to where
if you're feeling
they could do that in 2 nights?
If you're an arena stadium type band, then you must have it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know, if you're U2 and you're Metallica and you're Aerosmith and you're, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? You have so many songs that you can change it up a little. Okay, you don't have to change up 70% of it, but change up 10, 15 songs of them. Half the set or something, or 40% of the set. Because that would get your hardcore fans to come back for more concerts. You know what I mean? And you would be doing a service to your fans because you're playing more different songs. I saw U2 in New York 4 different times, and they must have played maybe an extra 4 different songs throughout the whole thing. So only 1 to maybe 2 songs were changed in the entire set the next day. You know what I mean? And so that's all right, but that's not enough. You know what I'm saying?
Morrissey did more than that, right?
Oh, Morrissey changed up like... Morrissey is that's how you really pronounce it. Morrissey. 3 to 4 songs every night he changed, which I was really happy with that. And he knocked out some real classics. So it's cool when they're able to do that. Anyway, Gus Schwartz says, I know we don't need running backs, but if Gibbs is there in the second round, we got to take a very special talent. Whatever you want, Gus. I don't think they're going to do that, my brother. So, some of you out there, you want to force something that doesn't really happen. And, we have this thing with fans and their favorite teams. And I love your passion, Gus, and I love the passion that all of you bring to the table. Like, the other day somebody asked me, oh, they acquired this guy. Do we know what they're going to do with them? Like, we're not going to be known any of that stuff. I love it, but no, it's kind of silly right now. We don't know. Down the line, we'll find. Even the coach sometimes gets a player and they have an idea of what they want to do with that player, but they don't really know yet until they put them in that position, find out what they can and can't do and all those kind of things. And I think there's a disconnect, and it happens here with Dolphin fans a little bit because your passion blinds you from the reality. The reality is they signed all 4 running backs, and there are guarantees to the top 2 backs. So, yeah, maybe you could draft somebody and that person will challenge the 3rd running back for that spot, maybe. Or if you're going to keep 4 and Gaskins would be your 4, then that rookie could take over. It's possible. But is that the necessity right now? And that's the problem that everybody that requires a running back in the draft, like this man here, Gus, it's because they don't believe in Jeff Wilson or Raheem Mostert. Or they don't want to believe that they got over 4.5 yards a carry with a decent line, not even a good line, not even a great line, not even an exceptional line, not even a monster line, just a serviceable line. So what is really the problem? The problem is the offensive line. And so the offensive line has got to get better. And Mike McDaniel has to commit more to the run, and he admitted that. Those are the issues. Same disconnect happens on the offensive line. The guys that are coaching the offensive line, they have not given up on Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg. But a bunch of you out there, right, a ton of you have given up on them. That's where this disconnect is. And so you are refusing to believe the reality that they're not that desperate for offensive linemen. They might go add another guy, but they don't need to add 3-4 guys. They don't feel that way. They feel like they're going to get something out of Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg. And by the way, they got something out of Robert Jones, so they also have him. So could they add one more guy to the mix to be in the competition? Sure, depth, all that. But do they act like they desperately need a lineman? No, they didn't. Did they act like they desperately need a running back? No, they didn't. And that's where I think there's a couple of those positions that there seems to be a lack of reality. And by the way, it also goes with Tua, right? Because there's some of you out there that are still not convinced with Tua. So you wanted them to go get Lamar Jackson, something stupid like that, or something else, whatever, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, whatever was out there this year. A bunch of you wanted to go in that direction.
So a lot of you don't live in the reality that Tua is the quarterback. You don't live in the reality that they're fine with their running backs. And you don't live in the reality that they, not the rest of us, they are not acting like they desperately need offensive linemen. And for them, it was an injury-riddled season with Eichenberg and Jackson. They didn't get to coach them and coach them through the season and get them better. That's the way they look at it. And they think there's upside with those guys. And that's the problem in three positions. Gus brought it up, and it just seems like there's a disconnect at running back, a disconnect on the offensive line, and a disconnect with the quarterback. And you refuse to believe what the front office is doing and what are the tendencies of your general manager. The tendencies of your general manager are they don't draft running backs high. The tendencies of your general manager is they don't pay running backs a lot of money, right? That's just the way it is. And then the other tendency has been they've been committed to Tua from the get-go. I mean, I told you that it was Tua right after the season ended, and yet all this FUD was written and talked about and all that. And I just think that some of you have to come to the realization of what the reality is and what these guys are actually really doing there in the front office and how they're building it and what they believe in. It may not be what you believe in, but it's what they believe in. And that's where I would tell Gus and everybody else, get ready to be disappointed because it's probably not going to be a running back in the second and third rounds. There's a very good chance it's going to be something else, and probably more along the lines of a tight end or an offensive lineman or maybe even a safety or a linebacker, but not a running back, not a quarterback. That's just the reality. Anyway, so hope I answered your question, Gus. Let's see. Edward says the money you save buying a gas car instead of an electric car, you would have gas for 10 years. If the battery goes on an electric car, it costs thousands to replace. Edward, you've been programmed by, a certain group of people. Battery prices will go down because it's brand new. That's why battery prices are expensive. But by the time you need a battery, Edward, right? It's 10 years from now. Your battery lasts a long time. It doesn't go away in a year or two. Okay, so they're going to get better at producing the batteries. They're going to get much cheaper because more companies are coming out producing batteries. I'm not sure if you keep up with that, but I do. Since I'm interested in an electric car, I do. So, of course, is our green highway built for it? No, not yet. But you got to start somewhere. And you got to start by buying cars. You got to start by charging them at home, all those kind of things. But it's still better for the environment, Edward, because every time you get in that gas car, you're polluting our environment. Okay? And the more we have to drill for gas, the more damage we're doing to the earth. That's the bottom line. There's some of you out there that you have a problem with moving forward and improving in the world. And change, especially for men, is very difficult because we are routine-like animals. But whether you like it or not, Edward, right? Less stamps, less licking of stamps. You're going to use more email. And they shit on email tons for years. And now everybody uses it. And the same thing with the internet, and the same thing with digital phones, and the same thing with everything else. It's changing. Whether you like it or not, it's going to change. Okay? And we're going to be electric, and we're going to be nuclear eventually. Because that fusion that they discovered just a few months ago, that is pretty much sustainable energy on its own. It doesn't need anything to keep producing energy on its own. That eventually is going to power everything we use in life. Not yet. It's going to take several years, maybe a decade down the line before we get to that, because we're going to keep that technology within our country to empower us first before we make it something that's general. So that's going to take a while. But electric is coming, whether you like it or not. So you can fight it all you want. You can make all the excuses you want. But there's nothing more damaging to Earth than gas compared to electric. So eventually, we're headed to a world that it's all about your own sustainability. You're not going to be relying on power, what's that called? Power grids and all those kind of things. You're not going to be relying on that. You're going to have your own power grid that's going to be powered by the sun. Some will be using wind or whatever it is. That's how it's going to go. Just like in crypto, you're going to be your own bank. Those kind of things. As I've told you for 2 years now, and now's when you're starting to hear about it. But I told you 2 years ago. He knows, he's been with me. I've been telling you banks are going to disappear. Have I not been saying that banks are going to disappear for 2 years? Now you're getting it. Okay? Now they started to disappear. Now they're starting to fail. But I knew that 2 years ago. And so whether you like it or not, we're headed into a world where you have to sustain yourself and not rely on the government for everything, or banks, or power plants, or all of those kind of things. You're going to have your own power plant. You're going to be your own bank. You're going to be your own power resource. That's just the way it's going to be. Is it going to happen overnight? Of course not. This is going to be a 10 to 20-year process. But over the next 2 decades, we will become completely green, whether you like it or not. That's all, man. You want to politicize it? I don't give a shit. You can go ahead and politicize it. You're going to be dead wrong. That's all. And in 20 years, I'll be laughing at you, telling you what I told you 20 years before, that this is what was coming. Just like I laugh at everybody that thinks, that our Democrats and Republicans know how to run our government and money and everything when they're running it into the ground. But that's all right. It's all good. You'll learn the hard way, Edward. That's just the way it is. Big O's sad that the Cash App founder got stabbed. I know. California is a disaster, bro. I mean, crime is everywhere, but California is just a disaster. Big O, I wouldn't mind Cam Newton as a backup. Cam Newton is garbage, bro. Why would you want him, Devin? He's garbage. He can't pass. He has no accuracy. He can't play in Mike McDaniel's offense. He has no anticipatory skills. He has no accuracy. Can't do any of that, dude. Cam Newton's a joke. Please. I saw let's get into it. I saw the Cam Newton thing. And so he's on a video, and this idiot, okay, because he's a freaking moron, right? I mean, sometimes you got to have awareness of who you are. And Cam Newton is a nothing, dude. He's a nothing in this league. He's a nobody. He's a has-been. He's cooked, done, history in the archives. He's a dinosaur of a quarterback with a guy that has a dinosaur of a body. And that's it. He was a great, great, great college football player. He got on this one run, and he got to the MVP and all that good stuff. But, you get lucky and you get on a run, and that's it. But you can never do it again. And he was a disaster with the New England Patriots. He's been a disaster ever since he left Carolina. I wouldn't want Cam Newton on anywhere. And he goes, no, he'd back up Deshaun Watson, Lamar, Malik Willis. Doesn't even start, by the way. Sure. Josh, okay. What's it called? Tua, Hurts, Sam Howell, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. And then he'll also back up Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson. Talk about a dude that has no awareness of who he is. That he's a jag at this point. Nobody wants Cam Newton. Nobody needs Cam Newton. Somebody better send Cam Newton a message that nobody in the NFL needs him at all. The NFL will move on just fine without Cam Newton. You know how the lack of awareness that moron has. What he doesn't realize is he needs to be grateful if he even gets an offer from anybody. Nobody wants Cam Newton. Nobody needs Cam Newton. Cam Newton can't help anybody win, okay, in the NFL. And he's not one of the top 32. He'd struggle to be a top 64, okay? He's just a jag that runs around with an inaccurate arm. Please, give me a break. So, no, Devin, it's a joke. I would never want Cam Newton on this team. Brett Dodgers is in. Heat Fins is in. Thank you, sir. Mel Piper is in. Uber Beaner. Duke Tomlinson. Big O, have The Cure released a new album recently? No, they have not. I have a lot of their older albums, but I haven't kept up with them lately. If so, I'd like to know. They have not released a new album. This tour is not about a new album. But this tour, Brian, this is the last tour. He will not do any more major tours after this. He might do festivals. He might play occasional gigs, but Robert Smith is done. So if you want to see The Cure, this might be your last time to ever see The Cure again. I'm just telling you. That's why I'm going all out. And I want to see him twice in Atlanta, and I'm going to see him here in Miami. I'm going to see him as many times as I can possibly see them. If I can rig a fourth one, I'm going to rig a fourth one. Seriously, I'm not joking. This is the last time you will see Robert Smith. So this is why I would tell you, and Robert Smith is not one of those dudes that is going to retire and unretire. And no. He's not that guy, bro. He's that guy when he wraps it up, he's done. You can tell he's that guy. So this isn't like something that he loves to tour around the world. But what I do give him a lot of respect for, that if he's going to tour and if he's going to come to your town, brother, he's going to lay down a 30-song plus set and give you an amazing freaking show. And that's the one thing I love about Robert Smith. He is truly about the fans, like Metallica. Certain acts, bands, they are truly about the fans. And Robert is definitely one of them. Let's see. EJ Barrow says, hi, no disconnect here. Not from my part of the town. I do my own research. Matthew Hernandez, did you hear Sony is making a car with Honda? I did not. I definitely think that the Dolphins will draft an offensive lineman in the second round. Second or third, Edward, I can believe. Takes 2 hours to charge electric cars. Good luck if the grid has a blackout. Depends. There's one that charges like in 40 minutes. So it all depends. Again, Duke, listen, man, some of you out there, you pay attention to the media and you really don't do your own homework and you don't really follow up on all of that. And by the way, if the grid has a blackout, so the place is dark, what are you going to do? Drive around the streets in a dark place? Just daylight, maybe? You can get by? If there's a blackout, are you really driving in the streets? Probably not. If there's a blackout, you're home, my brother. So that's kind of ridiculous. And again, the grid is only going to grow. The options for you to charge your car are only going to grow. It's only going to get better. Plus, you're going to have your own at home. So if you're smart, you keep it charged up all the time at home. Again, the problem is some of you, politically, you're tied to one side or the other, and you get hypnotized by your little Democrats, your little Republicans, and you listen to the wrong people, and you're so misinformed. That's the problem, dude. Because you want to listen to Democrats, and then they're politically driven, and you want to listen to Republicans, and they're politically driven, and then they're going up against each other. And then what do? They misinform the public just to sway them to their side. And then half of you are too stupid to figure it out that you shouldn't be listening to Democrats and Republicans. You should actually do your own homework and try to find it independently. But you're too freaking lazy. So you listen to the wrong people that tell you all kinds of stupid things like Elizabeth Warren and Donald Trump. But if you want to keep doing that, you can go ahead and keep doing that and stay stupid. That's all. It's pretty simple. You want to stay stupid? You go ahead and stay stupid. Tua time. Thank you, sir. He says, fire Vince. Is he talking about McMahon? I would imagine. Does he know that there's no shot of that ever happening?
Well, they took over WWE Bump. It was the WWE show that they run. And the whole chat was nothing but fire Vince. Everybody's fire Vince, fire Vince. By the way, a first happened in the AEW pick of the week.
I lost yesterday?
No. Well, you've lost before. That's not a first.
Oh, okay.
It was a no contest.
Oh.
He got attacked before the bell rung, and they never had the match. A no contest. So.
Oh. Okay. Isaiah, thank you. You put here Isaiah, and the other one it's Isais, right? You're confusing me, bro. But thank you for the Bitcoin today. Appreciate the donation. Big time. Thank you, sir. My favorite part of the show is roast time. Yeah, well, people do get roasted here on this show. Waiting on that electric Dodge Challenger. That would be pretty cool. And some of those cars, god damn, dude. Tesla's got one that it goes 0 to 60 like in 3 seconds. You know that? 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, bro. I love it because those cars, and they don't make a damn bit of noise. That's the best part. So awesome. Maybe O should create a segment called Roast Them and Smoke Them. Yeah, you know what? Maybe you should start putting roasting on segments up on. People will want to just watch that. They love that kind of shit. Robert Smith did a song with Churches, and it was great. Churches is a great band, Big O. I you know what? I don't know them to a time. I got to check that out. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words hypnotize me. Oh, man. I don't mix electric cars with politics. Well, your information sounds very political, my man. You sound very, very, very much like those hardcore Republicans that are against the electric cars because they come up with all kinds of crap because they're paid by the gas companies and they want to push gas. And meanwhile, that's where you're getting your bad information. Big O, what independent news do you listen to? Reuters is one of them I do listen to. Not CNN and not Fox. That's for sure. I will not go by any of those two clown shows. I'll take a Ford Lightning over a Tesla any day. Me too. I really wanted to win that Ford Lightning here. I can't afford it, bro. You know, shit. Hell, if I could afford at least a Bitcoin, I can't even get to half a Bitcoin. If I could afford one, then maybe when it blows up, I can get a Lightning for myself. He says, my name is Spanish. People tend to chop it up, so I put Isaiah, easier to pronounce. So it is Isais. Okay, all right. Because you've noticed, right? Because I'll say Isaiah, and then I'll say Isais, and then I'm not exactly sure. So it's Isais. Okay, so now I know I'm just going to call you Isais. I don't have a problem with that. Can you figure out why they don't move Hunt to right tackle? And I guess that's another one. They like him at right guard. They think he's going to be a great right guard. They don't think he's going to be a great tackle. They think he's going to be a great guard. That's what they keep telling. That's another disconnect. That's a good one. I'm glad you reminded me of that one. That one kind of goes with the rant I just had a little bit ago on that. All right. Is Alex ready to go? All right. Let's talk a little football. Inter Miami. See if they could get back on track this week. Man, win 2, lose 4. That hurts. Alex Winley, Bleacher Report, and the Heron Outlet joins us next.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the hosts, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Talk a little football. We love talking a little football with Alex Winley. You can catch her work there at Bleacher Report and the Heron Outlet. They do an excellent job of covering your Inter Miami CF squad. Follow her on Twitter, like I and many others do, at AAW_1998. Alex, thank you for joining us once again. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks for having me on, Big O.
Well, I'm in pain, Alex. I mean, we started out 2-0. We're feeling good. All of that. Get a couple of injuries. Now it's 4 losses in a row. Talk to me. Why is it so painful right now?
Yeah, I think the loss of Gregory was huge. He was that a defensive anchor in the midfield for Miami, so they don't have a real replacement for him, and so they're trying to throw in Bryce Duke or Jean Mata, and that's a disservice to both of those players because they're more attacking players compared to Gregory, and they may not have the discipline to do what he does. So that's a huge loss, and plus Leo Campana has been out for since the beginning of the season, so he hasn't gotten playing time, and Joseph Martinez still isn't, still just trying to get the hang of whatever system that Miami is playing right now. And yeah, just everything that is going wrong went wrong despite all of the they got a lot of players over the offseason, so you expect them to play a little bit better, but they invested heavily, but right now none of the players that they brought in, bar like Franco Negri and maybe Sergei Krivstov, are performing right now, and the results show.
By the way, yeah, I'll say this about Negri: he's due, man. I mean, he keeps hitting the post, Alex. I mean, he's had a couple of really nice shots here the last couple of weeks that you're like, damn, man, he's just a couple of inches off from not just a goal, but un golazo. So
he scored the other night, I believe, against Chicago. He scored. John Mata had that nice ball into him, and he finished it with the Travella almost. So, yeah, Franco Negri, he's been great. Stefanelli. Martinez, they still got to come into it, but yeah, it's been a rough patch for Miami, and yeah,
it's the one that had the chest pass to the guy in the box, right?
Say that again.
Stefanelli was the guy that had the chest pass to his teammate in the box, right?
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, he's a nifty player. Yeah, he just needs to get into it, but yeah, it's do or die time, really. I think Neville's sort of on the hot seat now. It's his last. Almost, he has 1 year left on his contract. He's got to do better, especially with the Messi rumors. Like, yeah, the ownership wants to win, and 4 straight losses is not great.
Yeah, and listen, and here's the thing: I hear Campana is we don't know if he's starting or off the bench, right? But he's going to come back, right?
Yeah, this weekend he should be playing. Neville said either he'll start or come off the bench. I think he'll come off the bench because of this calf injury he's been dealing with, and you don't want to rush him back, but. Yes, I think he'll be coming off the bench this weekend. Let me be brutally honest here. This shit's got to stop already with Campana. I mean, he's got to no more, man. You got to stay on the pitch, dude. You got to show. We keep leaning and hoping for what we initially saw from him. He's never recaptured that magic ever again from the way he started.
he's never come back to actually sustain, stay on the pitch, score a lot of goals like he was doing before when he initially broke out from, and we're like, wow, who's this Leo Campana kid? Wow, this is fantastic. And you got your contract extension and all, but the injuries have been just way too much. What is it about it? Have you talked to him? Has he talked about what's going on? Because, sometimes, Alex, I've been covering sports for 30 years, and I know that sometimes guys go through peaks and valleys, guys or women, that when they're athletes, they got to figure out their bodies sometimes. And when they get to the pro level, it puts on so much demand on their bodies that they either break down and their bodies aren't durable enough, or they're not doing the proper things in training or diet or whatever it is, and they are able to tweak that and stay on the pitch. What is Campana's issue?
Yeah, with Campana, before the season, he did speak about changing his diet and just taking care of his body more. He's still only 22 and figuring out his body and growing, and he's still tall and growing as a player. So, yeah, you're right. He said he's been taking care of his body and doing yoga and focusing on what he eats and whatnot. But yeah, sometimes guys, they have these niggling injuries. Like with Campana, it's his calf muscle. He's very physical player, so you don't want to rush him back too quickly. But yeah, I kind of agree with you in a sense. He got that DP contract. Miami are leaning on him to lead the line. I know Joseph Martinez is there, but Joseph Martinez isn't a DP. The Joseph Martinez contract is more so, hey, let's see what you can you recapture that form that you had for Atlanta United, then maybe we'll extend you. But with Leo Campana, that's their guy. They thought they locked him in to a long-term contract, regardless of who the coach is. He's going to be here for the foreseeable future up until Miami Freedom Park and all that stuff. And yeah, they're trying to lean on him, but I don't want to blame a guy for injury, but maybe got to be a little bit more mindful of how your body is. Maybe don't do certain things that you used to do because you're a professional player now and the team's leaning on you.
You said something interesting in the initial part of this interview where you said whatever system they're playing now. So talk to me about that. Can you delve in a little bit more on that? Are you frustrated? Are you confused? Are you seeing them change up? What are you seeing that you said whatever system they're playing?
Yeah, and I said that because, with Gregory out, they're going to have to change some things. They have John Mata and Bryce Duke now kind of playing the number 6 role that Gregory was doing, but it's just not working. And you see with the 4 straight losses, they're trying different things. They're building up certain in different ways. Against Cincinnati, they build up in this sort of back 3 kind of hybrid. And right now, I think we can all say it's not really working so far. And I know during Neville's pre-match conference this morning, he was talking about moving back to 2 strikers and trying to get some more offense on the field. But, I think as football fans, we know that maybe, sometimes it's not necessarily, sometimes you just have to go for it and maybe suit the tactics to the players instead of, trying to implement something that may not work. And that's been a recurring thing with Inter Miami. They've tried so hard to play this identity, but sometimes you need to, just kind of go with what you have, what the players are doing. There's a lot of speed, a lot of cool, technical players, a lot of, guys who want to score like Joseph and Leo. And sometimes you got to play to their strengths. And I know Neville came into the season talking about possession-based soccer, which is great. And they played it at times against the CF Montreal and the Philadelphia Union. But now I think, it's desperate time in the season. I think they got to move the ball a little bit quicker, maybe go direct, have some more verticality in there. And, these endless crosses into the penalty box, with a 5'9" Joseph into, leading the line. I don't think that's going to work going forward. So I said whatever formation is because, they're probably going to switch it up this weekend with 2 strikers, with Leo coming off the bench. And
right.
Yeah, they just need to get back to what they were doing during preseason against Austin FC. They look good, and then Montreal and the Union. So they have to get back to doing that and not what they're doing here. That's I should clarify. That's what I meant. Yeah.
By the way, what's up with Robbie? Even though I've kind of given up on him, but what's the deal with Robbie?
Yeah, still injured. I don't know if his injury is specified, but he's still not ready to take the pitch quite yet, which is Yeah, it's unfortunate because he has a quite a bit of talent, but his body's just breaking down on him, and hopefully he can get back to the field soon because Miami have plenty of games that they will be playing in, and they're definitely going to need the bodies up there.
When you're in your early 20s, I can't deal with your body breaking down. If you're in your 30s and your body's breaking down and you have all that mileage, I can kind of understand. I can deal with that. But man, when you're that young and spry and you have these kind of issues, I don't know, man. I like I told you initially, I've given up on the kid, to be quite honest. It's just I'm wondering where the hell he's at. And I would imagine that this is his final year here, right? I can't imagine they're going to hang on to him past this season if he doesn't show anything.
Yeah, well, 2024, it's a year of first. This year it's Neville's last year of his contract. Who knows if they'll renew him? It's 2024. It's the end of the sanctions, and heading into 2024, hopefully they'll have shovels in the ground at Mel Reese, Miami Freedom Park. So it's going to be a year of first next season. So it remains to be seen if Robbie does continue, but. They're keeping him because he's on a super good contract. He's on his Generation Adidas contract, I believe. So it's super cap friendly, and Miami need it considering they're still under the sanctions right now. And yeah, I think they're just giving him chances and letting him develop because he is a good player. But we've seen in the past, Miami are not afraid to move on likable players for the fans. With Lewis Morgan, they moved on LGP, Nico Figal. Higuain, obviously he retired, but it's just they don't hesitate to move on players, I should say, but they do it in a way that is not harmful for their career. So I think Robbie, he'll get more opportunities, but it's crunch time for him.
Yeah, and next year you'll see him playing here. Okay.
Yeah.
Messi. So what's the latest? All right, because I keep thinking I never believed in this rumor, but now I'm all in. Because I just don't see him signing a contract anywhere else. And now this story came out that they're willing to, give him a piece of the team. And I would imagine that maybe the MLS will give him an entire team like they did with Beckham and those kind of things. So talk to me. Are we going to get the most incredible player signing in the history of South Florida this summer?
Yeah, well, they're in for him for sure. This has been a multi-year thing. It didn't just happen out of the blue. Yes, I know the report came out yesterday that they were offering Messi a stake in the club, but it was kind of widely known that's what it was going to take to bring him over here. The Barcelona thing, I don't. Yeah, I quite frankly, I don't see where they're going to get the money from. Honestly, they had trouble registering the players that they already have. I don't know how they're going to maneuver the way to get Messi back. Obviously, Messi does want to return to Barcelona, but how they're going to afford him, who knows? But Saudi Arabia, obviously, they can obviously outbid Inter Miami with. Their eyes closed.
$440 million in 1 year? Is that what that story said?
Crazy money, but Messi, and his family probably don't want to move over to Saudi Arabia, and
the PR PR that comes with it, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, MLS expansion is $500 million.
Yeah, and the Inter Miami's value will go up as soon as shovels are in the ground at Mel Reese because of the stadium evaluations and how the club is evaluated.
Give them a team, dude.
Yeah.
Give them a team. I just read where San Diego's trying to, figure out a place they can get into the league and get an all MLS stadium. Because obviously, as you know, that's a requirement nowadays in this league that your stadium has to be an MLS stadium. You can't be sharing. They don't want you doing that anymore. For all the
Miami
teams, they want you to have your own stadium from here on out.
Yeah, Inter Miami would have been in the league far sooner had MLS let them ground share with, I don't know, the Dolphins or someone else, but they had to go through the Fort Lauderdale route. And yeah, it just, I remember 2014 Beckham announced, and, it took them years to get the club off the ground. So, yeah, you're right. I kind of agree with the Messi point. Maybe he can go to San Diego. Las Vegas is also an option.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, I think him and his family,
Tampa,
they do want.
By the way, right?
No, I can't see that. Him and his family do want Miami, especially, his wife likes the city and they have an apartment here. But, Saudi Arabia can obviously outbid them, but, I don't think he, I can't see him.
Wait a minute, I'm kind of confused. Tampa doesn't have an MLS team, right?
No, it's USL.
That's what I mean.
It's still first division, but
No. I mean, you give him the Tampa expansion or Vegas or San Diego. What I'm saying is, if he wants to stay in Florida, because I know his wife loves South Florida, he could get the Tampa expansion, right?
Yeah, but
I don't know. Does the Rowdies guy have like dibs on that?
I don't think Tampa is a serious contender. I think it's more so Vegas and San Diego.
Right.
Tampa, the Rowdies are. Yeah, the Rowdies and MLS.
But wait a minute, Alex.
Yeah.
If he's coming to play for a couple of years, you really can't give him San Diego or Vegas because those are going to be expanding very soon. It has to be something that after he retires, he can then take over. So maybe we're looking at teams 33 and 34, not 31 and 32. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. But I don't know. But yeah, it would be curious.
Remember how Beckham did it? They gave him the team, but then he didn't have the city yet at that time. Yeah. He just had ownership rights to an expansion team. He finished his career in the MLS, and then he became an owner. I would think that with Messi, he's going to come for 2 or 3 years, and then after take over ownership. So maybe it's really not the first two that are coming up here, 31 and 32, right? Because that's where we're at, right? It's the next ones are 31 and 32. Am I correct on that?
I'd have to double check. Let me double check.
Because I think we have one coming that's 30, right? Because we have 29 in the league right now, right? Is that what it is?
It's a bit of an unbalanced thing.
Right, and there's a 30 already awarded, right? That's coming.
This is 29th teams with St. Louis. The 30th team would be San Diego or Las Vegas. I don't think they have a 31, 32, 33 yet.
So then those are the ones that you probably would award him, that 32, that 33, that 34, because those are the ones that are going to expand in 3 or 4 or 5 years from now. And then that'll be perfect for Messi, that once he finishes his run. And you know what? Now, you and I are coming up with something here. Because if they give him a piece of Inter and then they give him his own expansion team, he can then retire from Inter, sell his portion, and it'll be more expensive after he's done playing. Obviously, the value will be skyrocketing at that point. So he sells a piece of that, and then he goes into his expansion team, and he runs that, and he's making – my God, a boatload of money.
Also, the Apple TV deal, they're going to have an interest in getting Messi to the league because it'll drive up subscribers. And I'm sure Apple will want to push the league to potentially get Messi in here because, it will only help their brand and MLS and both of them together. So, there's a vested interest in all of the teams, I should say, in MLS because it's just going to bring eyes to the league, more money, raise the cap value, raise the value for the entire league, and it'll only be good for the entire MLS.
Oh yeah, God, hell yeah! By the way, you can follow Alex on Twitter at AAW_1998. She does an excellent job of covering the team, practices, games, constantly giving you insight on all that stuff. And catch her work at the Bleacher Report. And by the way, subscribe to the Heron Outlet. They do a really nice job talking Inter all the time. Alex, we'll wrap it up with this. Give us a preview of the Dallas game. Do our boys have a shot here?
Yes, they have a shot because they're at home mainly. I would say the Dallas are a very good side. They have great young talent: Jesus Ferreira, Alan Velasco, Paul Arriola, U.S. men's national team player. They've got their front line is very stacked, and obviously they'll be coming to Drive Pink to win. And their last game they drew a 1-1 against the Portland Timbers, and obviously they're going to want to get a win to try to get that draw from behind them. Miami are at home and they play well there, but they did lose against Chicago 3-2, so they're not unbeatable at home. So that's going to be the key. It all depends on Leo Campana if he can come off the bench, provide that spark. Miami have a chance, but Orlando, they're missing Gregory. They're missing some spots personnel wise on the field and on the team, and now it's just up to the coaching staff to coach them and get it together. But if they lose this one, I fear for what it's just going to get progressively uglier with the fans, and it's just going to get messy. No pun intended, but. Yeah, let's just hope that they play well, and they have the players to do so. It's just the mentality and really just going for it more so than a tactical.
I was pumped for this year, man. I was hoping that we were going to turn the corner this year a little bit.
The first 2 games, everyone thought, but
damn. By the way, have you ever been to a Portland game?
No, I would love to.
Yeah,
though.
that's bucket list, right? Isn't that bucket list? I want to go to a Portland game at night in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like in the rain. Yeah.
That's every time I see that specific game, that it's a night game and it's raining and they're just chanting the entire time, and the dudes are like, cutting down the wood and all that. I mean, it's just a great atmosphere, man.
It's super great. I wish Miami had something like cutting the tree off. Like that's cool. That's a cool thing.
We need to get to the point where we're a really good team.
Yeah.
Where we can. The problem is, Alex, they only have us, the hardcore people, watching, supporting, and talking about it. Hell, even local radio doesn't really do much to even help out or anything. So, and I listen, I'm old. So I saw the Fusion when we brought them here, okay? And I was a kid for the Strikers, too, when we had a buzz for them, and Lockhart would get packed. But I remember when Hudson took over, we were dead in the water. We were getting 4,000 a game. His first year, we go to 7. His next year, we go to 11,000, and we got to the Western Conference Finals, because at that time they were still moving us around a little bit for the first couple of years before we were going to settle in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So we get to the Western Conference Finals, and I guarantee you, Alex, we were headed for 14K plus the following season, because we were getting the average person now to get on board, to take a look at the Fusion. And they were playing a beautiful brand of football. It was open, it was exciting, and all that stuff. So that's the mix that we need. We need to win. We need to be entertaining in the process, right? And then the other thing, Hudson is such a god-like figure to sell soccer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I think you need. And Neville's a very likable guy. But you're gonna need some players or a coach or somebody that is really going to go out there and sell it and talk to people and bring the color and the enthusiasm to it. And that's what Hudson did. That the average person that really wasn't a soccer fan became intrigued about the Fusion just because of Ray Hudson. And then once we got him in the door, they saw how exciting it was, how fun it was, and then we got him hooked. Yeah. So Inter has not done that yet. We have not captured everybody's imagination. Hockey has to do that in this town. Baseball has to do that in this town. And this is why the Marlins don't get a crowd. And this is why the hockey team has failed to kind of build up, because they have not built themselves up to be a good team, to prove to people that you're dedicated and to entertain. You don't have to win a title, but you do have to be entertaining in this town. Once you get to that point, then we're going to see the crowds and we're going to see the buzz. Yeah, but until then, we're kind of, they got us, the hardcores. That's it. It's the only people they have.
Very true.
It sucks. So we're the crazy people that'll go see a U.S. Open game.
Yeah.
See that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the U.S. Open draw is actually later today at 6:00. So we'll see who Inter Miami gets to play in the next round. So
I live 15 minutes from FIU. I go over to see them. I'll just walk in, sit down, buy a cheap ticket, and I'll go watch Miami FC in a U.S. Open Cup game. But that's because, I love the sport and I wanted to succeed, and I've supported all the local teams that have been here always. But yeah, to win the average fan over, we may need a Messi. We may need that conduit that really pushes those people over. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It is what it is. All right, tell us what are you doing covering Inter on the Heron Outlet and Bleacher Report? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so Bleacher Report, Heron Outlet now, 90-minute soccer. I don't know if you guys heard of it. Minute Media, 90-minute football, where I cover all of MLS now. So I'm still doing the Inter Miami thing with the Heron Outlet, but now I'm writing more about other MLS teams with 90-minute US and lots of cool stuff. Player of the week, goals of the week. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. But yeah, same thing. You can find me on Twitter. Anything else, just find me on Twitter, shoot me a DM, and usually I'm pretty friendly, depending on the day. No, I'm just kidding. But same thing, AAW_1998. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alex, thank you as always. Great information, great insight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got it. There you go. Alex Winley, man. Good stuff. Follow her on Twitter, AAW_1998. Let's hope that, Inter can turn it around, man. This is when you're a fringe sport in this town, Okay. And baseball, hockey, and soccer are the fringe sports in this town. Football and basketball are kind of grandfathered in already. Okay. Football obviously will always be grandfathered in, and basketball has earned its right already. The Heat earned their stripes already. Larrañaga's earned his stripes already. You know what I mean? So basketball is set in this town. Hell, hopefully FAU now. This is hopefully a sign of things to come too. I'm really pushing for FAU to have success. Nova, you know. So basketball has done more than enough to win people over in this town. But when you're a fringe sport in this town, and baseball in this town is a fringe sport, and hockey in this town is a fringe sport, and soccer in this town is a fringe sport. And I've been at the moments when the Fusion were hot, when the Strikers were hot back in the very early 80s, late 70s. I was there when the Panthers had it going on for the Stanley Cup for a couple of years, that they were a pretty good team and the drawing was amazing. I've covered the Marlins in 97 when they were really good. I also, I wasn't the beat guy in 2003, but, you know, I obviously covered it and all that kind of stuff. So I've experienced when the fringe teams have had success and how we respond. But we never stay with them. Do you know why? Because they don't know how to maintain. The Marlins have never been able to maintain. Soccer never maintains, and hockey never maintains. Look at the hockey team. They had the best record in the league last year. And how do they follow it up? With maybe not even making the playoffs this year. That's ridiculous. You can't earn trust from people that way. And you're not football, and you're not basketball. Football can survive for a season 2 or 10, not being good. People still care. If you suck in baseball, hockey, or soccer, apathy sets in. They don't care. They don't give a shit that you exist. They don't care that you're playing. They don't care that it's on TV. They don't care. And that's the bottom line. And the Panthers have not done enough to get the average person to care. They have their hardcore. The Marlins, same thing. They've never done enough for people to care. Only the hardcore. And soccer is the same thing. Only, you know, bobos like me follow soccer no matter what. I support the Miami FC. I'll support him or she. I'll support the Fusion. I'll support the Strikers. I'll support Inter Miami CF. You name it, bro. I'll support their minor league team. I'll watch it, whatever. I'll purchase hats, shirts, jerseys. I've got them from all the teams. I've got a him or she jersey. Oh, it's really nice. It's a really nice jersey. But anyway, so, but that's just us, the fringe people. And this is what happens when you're a fringe sport in this town. You've got to earn your way on there the way Larrañaga has. Nobody gave a shit about UM basketball. Nobody cared about UM basketball. But Larrañaga made you care about it. You know what I mean? What's it called? Leonard Hamilton made you care about it. Before that, hell, I was at the Miami Arena with 10, 12, 14,000 people watching a Big East game. So Leonard made you care about it. And so has Larrañaga, who has been better than Leonard. That's how you get there. Now we're talking about years and years now. Yeah, in between the Frank Haith stuff, and, you know, there was a couple of, there was a valley in between Leonard Hamilton and Larrañaga, a little valley, but overall, we're talking about well over, 2.5 decades of pretty good production, and this is why people care about UM basketball. And then the Heat, since Riley got here, they've mattered. They're going to make the playoffs, and this is a shitty season for the Heat. We're all pissed off about the Heat, and they're in the playoffs. It's hilarious. Like, it's ridiculous, right? In most towns, they'd be just happy, but obviously we're spoiled. Championships, we demand more. It's like a Yankee fan, a Dodger fan, a Lakers fan, whatever, any fan of teams that have had a lot of success, even just getting into the playoffs is not going to be enough for a Yankees fan. No. They're going to be pissed off if they get out in the wild card round and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But they've all earned that. And this is where Inter Miami is at. Here's where the Panthers are still at. And the Marlins are even way behind both of those, to be quite honest. Because the Marlins really, see, Inter hasn't gotten to the point where there's no hope because they just are only out for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? And they made the playoffs last year. So it's positive for them. They're still building. You know what I'm saying? And then the hockey team has been trying from the second Viola and Seafood took over. But baseball doesn't even try. It's hard, man. It's hard. You cannot win in this town, and you can't win people over if you don't make the effort. Hour number 2 of the Big O Radio Show, live from Hialeah Park, rolls on.
You know, I tell you guys all the time about Cutter's Edge Pro, man, and what they did with our backyard and made it a pure oasis. That's our Sylvester tree right there. A beautiful day, providing a ton of sunshine. We've got one exactly like this out in the front yard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's Bono hanging around on the artificial turf. What's up, Bono? What's the word, baby? There you go, wagging that little tail. Maiden, there she is. Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? There you go. So we got the doggies hanging out. So just want to give you a little, we got some of the trees starting off from this way with the artificial turf. You see, there's Ziggy again, of course. Got it all the way. And look, we got some flowers coming out. That tree now will start to also spring, and it's absolutely beautiful too. So got all that. They can do all kinds of things for you in your backyard to kind of make it an oasis, which is what we've done. And obviously the dogs can play. What's up, Bono? I got him there hanging out. Maiden, there she is. There she is, the one and only. She is mean as a skunk, by the way. Just want you to know. She's awesome with us, but I mean, if you're a stranger, you don't want to meet mated. So as you can see, and then the artificial turf, remember, there's no watering. There's no cutting the grass. It looks fabulous like this the entire time. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Back here in this corner is where we put the barbecue. I wheel it out, cook, then I wheel it back in. See, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Flowers are coming out. It's awesome. And then when I want to play a little golf, there's my putting green down the side, which is a beautiful thing. There's one of the holes all the way to the other side where Bono is at. All lights up. It's really beautiful when it lights up. See, we got the rough. Got several. Got one on that side. Got one over there in the corner. Where Bono's leaving. Got rough all over the place, man. Just in case, you get the ball trapped in there. That's it. That's another swing. Right, Maiden? So, check it out, cuttersedgepro.com. Make your home an oasis. Make your business, your HOA complex, condominium, you name it, they got you, bro. They do it all. All right? Then cut your trees down, and the artificial turf, I swear by it. Really easy to maintain, and it looks just absolutely freaking beautiful. Cutter's Edge Pro. Right, Ziggy?
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
And welcome back, baby. Hour number 2 of the program. Hope you all are doing well, as always. We are out here at Hialeah Park, enjoying ourselves, having a good old time. Ah, yes. What do you got here? EJ says, I've got a Shadow Black 2023 Pony GT, 63,000, practically 64. That does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds with a range of 260 miles. Plus, you'll qualify for a $7,500 rebate from Uncle Sam. Yep. You do get a nice little break when you do go electric. You are correct, sir. Big O, are you a bigger fan of soccer or American football? No, man. I mean, the NFL is, always going to be my number one sport. It's not even close. Basketball's too, actually, not soccer. Basketball's my second favorite sport. Remember to smash the like button. Exactly, Jamie. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anthony says, I am behind today. All of the FUD on electric cars is a joke. My mom and dad freaked out with all the talking points from years ago. Tesla's battery and motor warranty is 120,000 miles. Charge at Wawa in 20 minutes. There you go. Dude, Anthony, the problem is that they politicize it, bro, and they listen. We unfortunately, if you're a Democrat, you only listen to Democrats. And if you're a Republican, you only listen to Republicans, when you shouldn't be listening to either, because none of them care about you. They only care about their own interests. Elizabeth Warren's worried about Bitcoin, yet she makes $200,000 a year and she has $67 million in the bank. How do you think she made her money? Come on, man. Just no, she wants CBDCs so we can track and control you all we want. And we can tell you where to spend and where you can't spend. Yeah, let's do that. And that's our problem, bro. Too many people with misinformation. Look at all the idiots that listen to Fox. They lied to them and lied to them and lied to them, and they knew they were lying, and they didn't care. All about ratings. So they don't care about actually getting it right. All right? Democrats and Republicans are not about getting it right. They're only about getting it over on the opposition and help their personal interests, not Americans. And the faster Republicans and Democrats figure that out, the better you'll be off. So, but go ahead. Keep doing it. True Fin Fan says, I have a 1981 Z28 retro mode. Cuff electric. I used to drive a 97 Corolla that went 0 to 60 in 2.7 days. I miss Old Yeller. The electric cars thing is simple. Who has the most to gain and who has the most to lose? Companies invested in legacy technologies and the source of the FUD. Yep. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it's the way it goes. We got the Heat tonight taking on the Sixers. Have we heard anything yet, Sean, on any of these players sitting out? Because this is not a game that I would bet on at all. Because if Joel Embiid plays, then they'll kick their ass. And if Joel Embiid doesn't play, the Heat still can lose that game. Okay? They can still lose that game. That's how screwed up it is. So I don't know if there's any injuries for the Heat or, load management crap. By the way, Bam Adebayo with the left quad tendon has been upgraded to probable for Thursday's game. Nikola Jovic has been ruled out with back spasms. Kyle Lowry is questionable for Thursday's game against the Sixers due to a sore left knee. So we got that going on the Sixers side. Let me see if there's anything new with the Sixers. PJ Tucker, right calf contusion, will not play in tonight's game. Lou Dort is questionable for tonight's game. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm hitting Philadelphia, and why did Oklahoma City come up? I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm going, what? Okay, let me see if this fixes. Okay, here we go. PJ Tucker out. DeAnthony Melton is questionable for tonight against the Heat with tightness in his right calf. Tyrese Maxey has got a stiff neck. He is questionable for the game against Miami. And haven't heard anything about Joel Embiid yet. So I don't know. This is not a game that I would touch. I would not trust the Heat in this game at all. Yes.
I sent a text to our guy. Yes.
And?
He said, I'm assuming he plays. He's not on the injury report.
Okay. So if he's going to play, then I'll lay the 2.5. If he's going to play, he's just playing for the MVP then.
Yeah, again, that's just going on. He's just saying he's not on the injury report. It don't mean that all of a sudden he might show up for.
No, I know. I looked at it right now. He's not there.
He's not on the injury report at all. So we'll see. I think after the 50 performance.
Listen, I'm not a Sixers fan. I don't care. But I would not play Embiid if I can't gain in the standings. There's only a couple of games left. Is it really that you're worried about the MVP that badly that you have to keep it in the writers' minds? I mean, these games are useless at this point. You're going to give an MVP to somebody in game 80 or 82? Either you're the MVP now or you're not.
I was, and again, if you listen to the redrecover.com
Inside the
Paint Show this morning, they said Ira and Kurt were going back and forth on it. Like, if you were Philly, wouldn't you want to be the one that made the Heat the 7th seed?
I don't think they give a shit about that.
Again, with everything going on, wouldn't that be something?
They're the third seed, and you don't want them to be.
You don't want to play. Play them in the.
They got to win all three.
Well, no, exactly. But at the same time, if you win this, you beat them tonight. You make sure they can't. You're being, as a, because again, a lot of
keep them down. I get what you're saying.
No, that, but then the Heat, in the playoffs, the Heat have had Philly's number, right? With Embiid, I mean, it hasn't been,
Yeah, but not this team.
No, exactly. It's a different team, but
this team is.
It's one of those things to where now at least you can go in and be like, we put them there. At least you got something. And again, this is just fishing for something.
Yeah, they're fishing because I can't see that being something that those guys need. They need to win in the playoffs. They need to win a title. Whatever they do to the Heat is meaningless to their big picture, bro.
When you look at the two top teams in the East, I don't think Philly.
Right? No,
Philly can't beat them anyway. So
right, no, I'm with you there.
I guess it's small, minute things at this point. It's like, hey, let's get some wins somehow.
It's so petty. I just don't think that they would be doing that. At least I don't think so.
But there's no reason for Embiid to play then.
Right? No,
that's the only. I mean, you're not going to.
There's no reason for
if
Embiid
they
to
don't
play.
have you as the MVP now, the next two games, if you score 50 points, whatever,
it shouldn't make a difference.
You're not going to make a difference anyways.
It shouldn't make a difference at all. Whoever's the MVP should be the MVP already.
Yeah,
that's it. The more we go into the season, the worse the games are. They mean less and less.
Because you got Embiid and Joker, both teams are locked in to their playoff spots. They're not going to play. Who's the third? Man, they talked about it this morning. I forgot who they said.
For the MVP?
Yeah.
The Denver guy, right?
Oh,
Jokic?
It was Giannis, I'm sorry.
Oh, Giannis and
Jokic is locked in. And then if you want to throw in Jaylen Brown.
Oh, Brunson.
And
Jalen Brunson.
I don't know if they had Brunson in the MVP one. I think they had.
But it would be Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid, right?
Embiid were the top three, and then they said if you want to throw a fourth, it would be. But everybody, no matter where you go with the MVP race, everybody's locked in.
Yeah,
there's no need for any of them to play with the 2-3 games.
Stupid.
Where you're at.
It's like, and again, I'm not a Bills fan. I don't care, but like every time I see Josh Allen continue to run, I'm like, what kind of morons are you? But go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Somebody's going to knock his block off, and I'm going to be laughing my ass off. And then the Buffalo Bills will be nothing again. And go ahead. Do that if you want. Let's see. Big O, this is no sugar or carbs diet. It's hard, but I have made it 8 days. That's really what I should do. Just eliminate the sugars. If I could do that, I would lose a ton of weight.
If you went and looked at what has sugars,
everything.
It's not one thing that you couldn't.
I know.
You're basically eating.
Yeah.
It'd be the Atkins diet. You'd be eating meat.
Yeah.
And you can't use any sauces. You can't use anything because everything in that has sugar as well.
And I can't eat meat. I mean, I can, but not often.
Yeah.
So
you'd be chicken, right? Can you eat just chicken or
chicken, turkey, and fish?
So you could. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not the worst. It's not
that gets tiresome.
Trust me.
Day after day after day.
Trust me.
That's my problem with I can't eat chicken every day.
I eat chicken practically every single day.
Not a chicken person.
Every day, dude. Turkey I can eat too. I love turkey. I have no problem with turkey. And I like fish too. But the meat and the shellfish, those are things that I have to pace myself because my stupid gout. Although I'm really thinking I'm going to go see my doctor next week, and I'm really thinking of getting on allopurinol. That's what us gout people take, and you take it every day, and then you can eat meat, because it controls your uric acid. For now, what I do is I don't take the allopurinol because I just take prednisone, or is it right? Prednisone and colchicine, right? The combination of those two whenever I get an attack. And that's what I get a couple attacks a year. But prednisone is a steroid. So it's just not good all the way around, bro. It is what it is. What am I going to do, man? What am I going to do? Bradster says Heat need a second star next to Jimmy. Hopefully Lillard or Beal can come to their senses and ask for a trade. The problem is, Bradster, they have nothing to trade. and more teams will have better offers now than the Heat have. The Heat have put themselves, I mean, they have really, like, I love Riley to death, but he has put himself in an impossible position. And let me tell you something, Jimmy Butler, it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse now. Next year and the year after and the year after that, he's going to play less and less. He's going to have more and more injuries. He will not be able to carry the team like he normally does. He's been a monster. And where this front office screwed up again was they only should have signed him to one contract. And if you didn't get the star next to him, too bad, so sad. We got to move on. I'm sorry, Jimmy, we tried. And that's it. But you allowed him to bring Kyle Lowry on the team. And then you gave him an extension and you gave Kyle Lowry a stupid, terrible contract. The Heat have put themselves in a really, really bad position. And my question, my concern that I had when they acquired Jimmy Butler, guess what? It was never answered. And I was right. Can they ever get another superstar to play? And lots of people were saying, oh, yeah, no, you'll get it. Well, where is it? Where is it? What happened? Never got it done. Whether it was Jimmy couldn't attract somebody or the Heat couldn't get it done, but they never got another star. And to me, you don't make the Jimmy Butler trade unless you can get a star that is better than him. And I said that from the second they acquired him. The second they acquired him, I said, if you don't get a star in the first 2 years of this deal, it becomes a bad deal. And it's been entertaining because he's a really good player and he gives us all that stuff. But in the end, it's about winning a title. And you had everything fall your way in the bubble, except for the injuries at the end. That was your moment. That was the moment to win that title, unfortunately. Because the stars aligned like 2003 for the Marlins, except right at the end. Damn it. And Eric Spoelstra got them to overachieve to get to that point and play like they've never played before and they never will play again. Yeah, this is the Heat are, I think, in for a rough patch for the next couple of years to get out of this mess. Sucks because you went through the whole Whiteside bullshit, and then it took you a couple years to get out of that mess. And now it's going to take you a couple years to get out of this mess. The Kyle Lowry contract, man. My God, dude. Wow. I don't know a thousandth of what Riley knows. But, man, I knew that one. I don't know how they didn't see the same thing. I don't know how they gave in to Jimmy and allowed them to not turn to Jimmy and say, nah, I understand you're friends with him, but he's not good enough. We need something better. Save your money, man. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. Let's see. Eliminate 80% of sugars and 100% of all bread. Our bodies must sustain some sugar intake. If you cut sugar out 100%, you will lose a lot of energy. Well, you know what, Dolphin 13? I can't argue with any of that because I don't think 20% would do any damage to me. But if I eliminate the sugars and the bread, you're right. If I go 80% sugar and 100 and all the bread, you are 1,000% right. Most of us would lose a ton of weight. We'd be in great shape. Yeah, hard to argue that. Eliminating all sugars, yeah, that's tough, man. That is tough.
If I just stop eating, I'll lose weight.
Yeah, kind of like that. Did you say Percocet and Coke? Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Percocet, Coke, barbiturates. Yep. Lemon, Roraire. Yep. All of it. And alcohol is sugar carb. I'm not an alcohol guy anyway, so I don't drink a ton of alcohol. I have a total of 6 drinks in a year.
It's the Pepsis and Cokes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's 3 beers, 4 beers in a year. I don't really drink a ton, dude. You know what I mean? I haven't had a drink in, well, no, I had a vodka Edge a couple weeks ago with the wife outside playing golf, but that's about it. It's not, I don't drink a lot. So drinking's not an issue for me. It's the Coke, dude. It's the Coke. That Coca-Cola kills me. Not the kind that Sean Kemp. Yeah, I don't have. I'm sure if I did that Coke, I would be dead.
That you might
or
be skinny,
really, I would be definitely really skinny for sure. For sure.
Although it didn't work well for him.
No, he's amazing. I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen a cokehead get fat. I've seen fat guys that do coke. Okay, that's different. But I've never seen a skinny guy do coke and get fat. That's kind of weird. That doesn't make sense. By the way, Marlins won yesterday. We talked about it because we were on 5-2. Soler with the 2 home runs. Jesus Luzardo, by the way. Luzardo did a nice job. 10 Ks in 7 innings. Today was postponed. Bad weather. That we have that system that's been like pushing out all those tornadoes. Did you see that funnel cloud in Iowa? You haven't seen that? That shit is impressive, dude. It's a tornado that's tearing through an Iowa field, right? But then the funnel goes all the way to the sky and it twists like that all the way. Like you would think it's like a Dr. Seuss cartoon. Okay? Now you gotta look at it. Go put Iowa tornado and it'll come up on Twitter. Guaranteed it'll be there. And it was, well, that system has been going all the way across the country. And just, thoughts and prayers, by the way, because we've lost a lot of people in the process. And that's the storm that's now in the Northeast. And supposedly this afternoon now, right about now into the evening, they're getting pummeled in the Northeast now into the Mid-Atlantic states and all that. They're going to get pummeled. Yeah, you see that shit? That is wicked, bro. Like that's cartoonish. Like I never knew it really existed that really can twist like it's like cursive writing up in the air and it's a damn tornado. Yeah, it's a twisted twister. It's impressive. We got him ready to go. All right, let's do it. On the other side, Alan Poupart joins us with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins and NFL report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
Right, all right. There he is. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Yep. I actually Googled it myself when the Iowa tornado there. That's some scary looking. It's weird because tornadoes are actually like fascinating to watch, but you also know how much destruction they cause. So it's like
you don't want to be anywhere near it.
No,
you want to see it. But every time I look at that one right there, bro, that's a funky ass tornado. And you see the bottom of it. It is tearing up that Iowa field. I mean, it is destroying it. Yeah, but how it stays complete with that whole thing up in the air, that is impressive, dude. Wow.
Yeah, that's nature at work.
Yes. And don't move to Iowa. Anyway, our thoughts and prayers to everybody out there that has been in a tornado zone in the last couple of days. Now the folks in the Northeast are dealing with it. That's why the Marlins game was postponed to tomorrow. So let me ask you, Mort says that the Panthers are going to take Bryce Young at number 1. Does that surprise you? Because I'm a Stroud guy for number 1. Not that I give a shit about the Panthers, but just looking at it, if I had the number 1 pick, I like CJ Stroud slightly better than Bryant Young. Your thoughts on that?
Bryce Young. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I like, as good as Bryce Young was at Alabama, there's just something about him, and I don't know, maybe it's my bias against shorter quarterbacks, smaller quarterbacks. I don't know.
Yeah, we know about that one. Yes, we know about that bias against shorter quarterbacks.
Okay, let's not go there. But even beyond that, the couple of times that I saw Stroud, CJ, he impressed me more. But going back to your original point, though, I've heard CJ Stroud for the Panthers. I've heard Bryce Young for the Panthers. I heard maybe the Anthony Richardson for the Panthers. So At this point, we still got 3 weeks to go before the draft. It could change 5 times between now and then.
I know, but Chris Mortensen doesn't just throw shit out there. That's the problem. That's the thing. It's normally. None of us are perfect. Every reporter in the world has gotten something wrong. So let's just, okay. And then a source has misled them, or a source had bad info or whatever. Every reporter has been burned by that. So nobody's perfect, including Mortensen, all that. But normally, Mort is pretty damn
very
good.
Reliable guy, no question.
Very reliable. So he's throwing that out there, and I'm like, and you just said the key thing. We're still, 3 weeks away, and so that's already getting out there. That's kind of crazy. But I just wanted to ask you because I'm more of a Stroud guy. I like his accuracy. I think and of course, he's got a little more size to him. Of course, that too. Yes,
and a little bit more zip on the throws.
Yeah.
I think if you're the type, if you want to swing for the fence, you go Anthony Richardson, who I think's got the highest ceiling of all of them. But there's also maybe a risk factor that's greater than with Bryce Young or Stroud.
For sure. The other guys are much more polished. You have no idea if you'll ever get Anthony Richardson to that point. Let's talk about having no awareness whatsoever. Cam Newton comes out and says that he's willing to be a backup for Watson, Lamar, Malik Willis, who doesn't start, by the way. Fields, Tua, Hurts, Howell, Rodgers, Josh Allen. Oh, and by the way, he'll mentor Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson if you'd like. Does Cam Newton have any sense of reality of where he stands in this world right now?
No, but I mean, you expect him to come out and say, my last season in the NFL was dog shit. I don't think anybody's going to sign me, but hey.
No, but you know what I'd expect him to say, which would make a lot of sense? I'm very interested in continuing my career. I would love an opportunity to help a team out and win some games.
No, that's fair.
That's it.
Yeah, that's not it. That's never been his MO, though.
Dude, you're not anything anymore to dictate anything.
Correct.
And by the way, you can't play in at least here I can say in the Mike McDaniel system, your quarterbacking does not fit here, bro. You don't have the timing and the accuracy to play in this kind of an offense. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing. You tell me you want to play behind Lamar. Okay, that makes sense. But you're not going to play behind Aaron Rodgers. You're not going to play behind certain quarterbacks because you don't have the same skill set as some of those guys that are really accurate passers.
That's fair. I do want to point out, though, that some of the guys he mentioned was because he had a connection with them with his 7-on-7 tournament, CN1, I believe it's called. And Malik Willis is one of those guys. So that's the reason he mentioned him. First guy on the list is Deshaun Watson. He said that's where he first met him in a 7-on-7 tournament. And I think they were maybe Sam Howell he threw in there. And the only reason is because he's got a connection with him from a 7-on-7 tournament. So that's the reason there. But the whole premise of your original point certainly is valid. That's
Jesus, dude. Come on, bro.
At this point, he should not be picky in the least.
No, he should be grateful. Any offer that comes his way, he should be incredibly grateful that he's getting it. That's the way that he should look at it. By the way, the Panthers, breaking news, have signed Eric Rowe, former Miami Dolphins safety.
Very nice. Great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy. He is a great dude. He is a really good pro. You are correct about that. As a player, I think he has his limitations. I think he excels with tight ends. Stop over there, out there somewhere. I know you're all going to say, "Whoa, he'll struggle with Kelsey and he'll struggle with Waller and he'll struggle with Willis." They all struggle with those guys. Okay, okay. But overall, Eric Rowe does a good job with tight ends. I think he's very inconsistent when it comes to wide receivers. I really do.
I agree, but I think his niche is as a coverage safety, which is what the Dolphins did.
Yes,
in 2019 when they switched him. And I would make one point to that game against Waller, where Waller had the big numbers. The coverage was great, except that Waller kept making the catches against Rowe where he couldn't make the play on the ball. That's not the same thing as not being able to cover the guy.
And Waller does that on everybody. And Kittle does it on everybody, and Kelsey does it on everybody. So, Please don't. I hate that. It's like, okay, when you talk Tim Ruddy to somebody, he struggled against Ted Washington. No shit. Really?
Join the club.
Did you watch the Ted Washington? Did you ever see people just, hey, Ted, step aside. I'm coming through you. Mm-hmm. No, Ted Washington was a goddamn building, bro. So it's like
large human being.
Yeah, bro. Tim Ruddy was a good player, man. Not a great player. Nobody ever says he was Dwight or Jim Langer or anything like that, but he was a solid center. And yeah, I know he struggled against Ted Washington. Oh, okay.
He was a B+. I'd give him a B+ center.
Yeah, bro. But the average fan does not do that. You know that, Alan. You've been around long enough.
It's all.
Fan doesn't give him enough love, bro. Doesn't at all.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't Dwight Stevenson or Mike Pouncey after him.
Right. It's not fair. By the way, do you remember Fridays, off the record Fridays with Tim Ruddy? I didn't tell any of the stories he told us in those days, but like Tim Ruddy was the biggest con artist out there, because you would show up with your pad, someone would show up with a camera, I'd show up with a mic, and he'd give us the lamest, most, cliche-est answers in the world. But then on Friday, on the no pad, no mics, no camera Friday, Tim Ruddy was awesome, dude. He was a blast. He was hilarious. Do you remember that?
No, but I remember a television reporter whose name I will not mention questioning Tim Ruddy's use of the word schematic at one point. And Tim Ruddy, who as you are very well aware, was kind of smart. And we're all gave the guy a look, and we're all looking at the guy like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you better be smart if you're going to challenge Tim Ruddy, bro.
Yeah.
Tim Ruddy was smarter than most of us, okay?
Yeah, it's pretty sharp.
But Fridays with Tim Ruddy, off the record, God, that was awesome, bro. That was awesome. What was the name of the receiver we had? It was it was during Chan Gailey's time, and
James McKnight, Rondé Gatson.
No.
Dedrick Ward.
No, a little bit more under the radar. He was only here for a year.
Jeff Ogden.
No, he was a trip, dude. He was hilarious. On Fridays, we would gather around him also. And God, I forgot his name now. Jesus. But he was a trip too, man. But yeah, Ruddy was like, when we would get that Ruddy, we were like, bro, why don't you do that when we are?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm too smart to do that kind of shit.
Mark Dixon was another one who was
he was great. Was awesome. Well, Mark Dixon was great because he had himself fired after every game and every practice.
Yes,
he was the worst. I sucked today. Mark, you didn't allow a sack. Oh no, I was horrible today. I this, that, whatever. He'd point out all kinds of shit. He made sure he kept himself down as much as possible.
No, back when I was the associate editor of Dolphin Digest, I did a big profile on Mark Dixon, and that was exactly the angle I took about how he was constantly like criticizing himself and all that, and that was his motivation. The dude was actually a really, really good player.
Really good player.
Yeah.
Really good player. To me, to this day, the most technically sound offensive lineman I have ever seen in my life. That mother effer locked you in like this, and you were done, bro. You were done. Whatever momentum you had, you took it left, right. He just carried your momentum and took you right out of the damn play. I had never seen anybody so, technically sound like Mark Dixon.
More than Dwight?
Yeah. Well, but Dwight was another level talent. It wasn't so much also, he was technically sound, but his punch, bro, that's not normal.
No, correct. He was like strong as a Knox.
Yeah, that's not normal.
It was technically great. So.
Yeah, it's like, Timbo, like Aaron Donald has all these techniques and hand stuff that not only is he a great athlete, but he also has this special talent of speed with hands and everything. That's why he gets by you. Tim was different. Tim had that country strong. He was just country strong, and he could blow past you. You know what I mean? So it's like different types of players, and that's what I mean by that. Dwight sure was technically sound, but he also had freakish ability that Mark Dixon had to be completely technically sound because he did not have the gifts of Dwight Stevenson.
Fair, and I would probably put him as the second best CFL import ever in Dolphin history.
What's that?
I said I would put Dixon as the second best CFL import in Dolphin history.
Yeah, Wake is 1 and him is 2. You are right. Yeah, definitely. Do we have a 3?
Marcus Thigpen was good as a returner for a bit. Brendan Ayanbadejo.
Oh, that would be my 3rd. He was an exceptional
special teamer.
He was an elite special teamer. Okay, so I know he wasn't a linebacker. He had the
interception against the
no. What I mean by is, what was the little short white guy that we had here that was a linebacker that was Izzo. He had the Izzo disease.
Yes.
You want him on your special teams. You don't want him out there playing linebacker. Sure. That kind of stuff. Ayanbadejo was an awesome special teamer, dude. That's a good one. That's a good one. I forgot that he came from Canada. Nice job by you.
Yeah, thank you. Well,
good one. That's a good one. I like that one. Do you think the Ravens will really look for a quarterback? Because DaCosta kind of they asked him and he said, well, there are quarterbacks here all the way through the first couple of rounds. You can get a guy. That might be something that we might be looking at. Do the Ravens dare draft a quarterback?
Guys, it's not the right setting. It's a pre-draft press conference. No, I don't. I am kind of the opinion that at some point, because here's the thing is, however you want to feel about Lamar, he's got no leverage. He's got zero leverage.
I know.
And if he wants to go ahead and play hardball and sit out the entire 2023 season, how'd that work out for Le'Veon Bell when he tried that with the Steelers?
Amen.
Teams always have the upper hand in situations like this. I think somehow something gets worked out, whether it's a 1-year compromise, whether they finally come together on a longer-term deal. I wouldn't expect it to be a very long-term deal, maybe a 3-year deal or something. I don't know. My expectation is, if I had to guess, is Lamar Jackson's going to be their quarterback in 2023.
So, man, that has been a situation that I don't know how it ends, because if he can't get an offer from anybody, I don't know how he gets them to up the ante whatsoever. And it doesn't seem like he's going to sign the tender to play on a 1-year deal. That I do get the feeling that this is Le'Veon Bell part 2, that he's going to do something stupid like that and hold out.
But again, if he's not going to learn from what happened to Le'Veon Bell's career after he did that, I mean, it was
over.
Yeah. The other thing that could happen is he signs the tender and all of a sudden, he's got back problems the entire season. Is that all the realm of possibility? No, I don't suspect that's going to happen, because I think the dude is a competitor ultimately. And again, here's the thing: deadline spur actions, as the old cliche goes. Does anything really need to happen before?
No.
Do they even need him in the offseason program?
No.
So
no.
I don't know that we're at the 24th hour, 23rd hour, whatever you want to say right now.
Although you are having a new offensive coordinator, so things will be tweaked a little bit one way or another. I don't think you're going to run the same. I mean, you can only run a certain kind of offense with him anyway, so you really can't get too much off from what you were running anyway. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine with the new coordinator, that'll be a little bit of a, maybe early on you're saying, oh, we can deal without it, but eventually you're going to need to get him in there with the new coordinator.
At camp. Again, to me, I don't. This is why. I mean, I know there's like tons of speculation all over the place, and you're gonna hear comments of like what's the latest? Like Lamar requested a trade. Is one of those? Is the next move going to be like, I'm never going to play for the Ravens or whatever, and then tempers cool down a little bit, and eventually they work out something. I have a hard time seeing him going anywhere, to be honest with you.
So let me ask you, was it painful for Omar to get you to say that Tua was a top 15 quarterback?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. Not top 10?
As I put in my tweet, maybe. But to me, there's a clear, dividing line. between your tier 1 and then your tier 2.
So what's he got to do this year in Alan Poupart's eyes to be a number 1?
Do it again
in the first tier.
Do it again and do it at crunch time in December.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And January.
Well, yeah. I can't. That's
because if he does it in January, in December, everyone else. Well, yeah, he didn't. Yeah, but then in the playoffs he choked. Then that's the next one, So yeah, December and January.
Right. That's why I did the damn stretching of the season. Where before you could say December and whenever you did like charts of like the months of the year. Now it's always December/January.
Yeah,
but that's what I meant.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, what do you got going on in Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, we addressed the aforementioned Cam Newton situation.
I saw it,
including why it's all great that he wants to play wants to back up Tua, but why it won't happen. And
you would never bring him here, right?
Even if they didn't have a second quarterback right now?
Like you're the GM. You're the GM, bro. No. They don't have a second. They do. They have Skyler. They didn't sign Mike White. Would you bring Cam Newton here?
No.
Of course.
Hard no.
Yeah, bro.
No. And then I including the story. If you saw like the worst start of his NFL career came the last time the Dolphins saw him.
Yeah.
When he played for Carolina, it was. I remembered it was bad, and then I looked at the numbers and whoo. Bad.
Everybody's time comes and goes, bro. Doesn't matter who you are, and doesn't matter what walk of life it is. At one point or another, Father Time calls, bro, and Father Time has already called for him. His game, ended up getting stale because you can only do that game for so long. If you can't make a living from the pocket, this league will break you in half. That's just the way it is, bro. And he could never make a living from the pocket. You cannot run for the rest of your life.
If what gets you by is pure athletic ability, once that athletic ability wanes, you're in big trouble. Right. So along with that, I also did a look at the roster as it currently stands with everybody, how the Dolphins got them, their contract status, which provides a good overview of what we're looking at in terms of who's signed for how long. And then we also
what's left in free agency offensively. I like that one, actually.
Correct.
That's good.
Which will be followed not too long down the road by what's left on defense.
There you go. He's always working, bro. Always working, folks. So make sure you bookmark alldolphins.com, which, by the way, that also makes you officially a Dolphins fan. Yes, you think you're a Dolphins fan because you have season tickets or you fly to see the games or you bought a jersey or any of that. But have you bookmarked alldolphins.com? Oh, you haven't. Oh, then you're not really a Dolphins fan. So to become an official Dolphins fan, you must bookmark alldolphins.com. That's the law. I'm sorry. It's the way it is.
You tell him, Big O.
I'm just saying. If you want to break the law, well, then, what can I tell you? Yep. It's not a good thing to break the law. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL and catch his work there at Sports Illustrated and catch him twice a week here doing his thing. Have a great weekend, my friend. We'll catch up on Monday.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you, sir. There you go. The great Alan Poupart, baby. Nobody sports a Montreal Expos hat better than that man right there with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins and NFL report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Right. By the way, Cutter's Edge Pro, go to cuttersedgepro.com. Those of you that live anywhere in South Florida, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, they've been serving South Florida for years and years and years. Nobody better at landscaping. So if you want to look to turn your home around, your business, your condominium complex, and, the landscaping's not looking good or you don't have any, increase the value of your property by adding the landscaping. Increase also, your family lifestyle, because that's what Will and Mike and all the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro did for us, man. They created another lifestyle for us because now we hang out in the backyard. I was just telling you that I was hanging out with the wife, having a little Grey Goose and a little Edge. playing a little golf and all that. We have a putting green in our backyard. We've got the artificial turf, so all the dogs are playing on it constantly. Nobody ever brings any dirt into the house. Nobody brings any mud into the house. It's super clean, super easy to maintain. And then we've got all of the greenery. When we talk about the trees, like the Sylvester tree and all of the other bushes and other trees that we have in our backyard, creating a lot of sunshine too at the same time. So we got, a lot of shade in the sunshine. So that's the beauty too. So it allows us to hang out in the backyard because the backyard is cooler. The dogs get to play. They don't create any mess. You know what I mean? And we can hit the putting green. We can play a little cornhole, all that kind of stuff, hang out in the back porch. It's just a different lifestyle now, and we can spend it outside. Listen, the streets aren't necessarily as safe as they used to be, right? It's almost like we're taking chances every time we go out, right? Well, this is why you want to make your house more of an oasis, a place where you can hang out with you and your family and your friends and your kids and your dogs and all of that, because that's your safe place. Well, call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. They can make your safe place an oasis, man. And that way you can enjoy you pay mortgage for the entire property. Well, then enjoy that piece of the property. Create something back there for yourself, man. Got a spot for us to put the barbecue. We got all that stuff going on. You can do the same thing. Call William at Cutter's Edge Pro, 954-472-0622, and tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you, man, they will take care of you. Go to the Instagram page, Cutter's Edge Pro, and check it out. Very impressive there at Cutter's Edge Pro. Big O, Mark Dixon played for the Dolphins 98 to 2003. No wonder Ricky got all those yards. Yeah, he was good, man. God, Dixon was such a good player. Ruddy, Jamie Nails, Wade Smith, Todd Perry. Those were decent lines in those days. They had some guys there that could play. Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick, Cam Newton, and Lamar Jackson. See a pattern here? Get what you can while you can, Lamar. Yeah, Lamar is he's mishandled this whole thing, dude. It's a shame. Big O, you need to get Poupart an EJD construction hat to replace the defunct MLB Expos hat. Come on, bro. He's a Montreal dude, bro. That's his team. That shit is like personal to him, bro. Haven't you heard him talk about it? Like, he hates Loria with a passion. He hates that baseball took away his Expos. Like, Edward, you don't care because you're not an Expos fan. But if you talk to people that, love their Expos, those people they're pissed till the day they die about this. Because really, in the end, they didn't deserve to lose their team. They just had a bad owner. It's like what we have down here. Oh, your attendance sucks. Well, that's because our owner sucks, dude. We have great owners in Mickey Harrison, and that's why we support him. Because he brings in a whole bunch of winning seasons with Pat Riley. So he gets the support. He entertains. Dolphins, they've had their success over the years, and we believe in them. They're always trying to win. You got to meet people halfway, and that's the problem there. So, they didn't meet Expos fans halfway. They screwed those people.
If I'm not mistaken, right? Loria was the Expos owner, and he was rewarded by getting rid of the Expos, the Marlins.
Right, because he sold the Expos to Major League Baseball so they can become the Washington Nationals.
Yes.
But they didn't want to give him that market and give him that money. So they gave him our shitty market.
Okay, all right.
So, no, but we'll give you Miami. Now you got to go earn your stripes over there. But what he didn't, all he did was get the $2 billion and walk away with the money. Or $1 billion, I'm sorry, and walk away with the money. So, yeah. It's so unfair, bro. So unfair. It's a crime that Richmond Webb is in the Hall of Fame. I agree. Richard Carrasco says, I take allopurinol as my preventive for gout. Works great. No side effects. I can eat just about anything. I think I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch to taking allopurinol because, dude, I like to enjoy a steak every once in a while, man. God. And sometimes I want a burger. I just want a burger, man. And I you end up like, this is how I do it. I like eat meat like maybe once every 2 weeks. is what I do, just so I know that I won't get an attack. If I eat meat 2 or 3 times in 1 week, forget it. I'm done. Done. Can't do it. I'll get an attack. So, yeah, it's just like, and I don't need to eat meat every day or anything, but, dude, you know, every couple of days, I'd like to have a hamburger. I'd like to have a steak, you know, and I can. It's chicken, turkey, fish. And it doesn't change. And mostly a lot of chicken, more than anything else. I like LSD for personal growth. There you go. That helps out. No, Josh, it wasn't James McKnight. You know what, man? Let me go. It was Chan Gailey was our offensive coordinator. You know what? I'll tell you who it was. Hold on a second. Let me just. Is there a site where I can look at the history of Miami Dolphin wide receivers? That's what I need. And then, or I could go through rosters, right? But then I'd have to go through rosters of. No. It was early 2000s, Chan Gailey. That's what it was. Well, look, I got here 320, they say, of players receiving yards. So he's got to be somewhere in the rankings. When I see the name, I'll remember it like right away. Once I see the name. But he wasn't here a long time, so I don't think he can be too high up on this list here. Fred Barnett. It was, I think it was, let me see, Fred Barnett. Is that the one?
He was from the Eagles.
I want to say it was Fred Barnett. Yeah, I think it was Fred Barnett. That was a freaking trip.
It makes sense because it was him and Chris Carter with Randall and the Eagles. I remember that team.
Yeah. But we had him here.
Yeah, he came here for a little bit.
We had him here. I want to say he was here with Chan Gailey, right? I want to say that. It was Miami 96, 97. No. I don't think we had Chan Gailey in 96 and 97. Because that's Jimmy Johnson years. No, I have the wrong person. It's not Fred Barnett. I'm wrong there. No, not Fred Barnett. Damn it, dude. And you know what? Now that I think about it, he can't have more yards than Fred Barnett because he was only here for 1 year. No, I got it. Leslie Shepard. It was Leslie Shepard, 2000. It's Leslie Shepard, 2000. That's it. Leslie Shepard. Because the Miami Dolphins in 2000, yeah, that's it. He had 4 touchdowns, 400 and some yards. Yes, that's it. That's the one. Chan Gailey was our coordinator then, right? Yeah, that's it. Fiedler, yes, that's it. Yes, that's definitely it. We had Lamar Smith and Jay Fiedler, J.J. Johnson, Audrey Denson, the former Notre Dame guy. Thurman Thomas was here, Rob Conrad. Leslie Shepard was a trip. Bert Emanuel, O.J. McDuffie, Larry Izzo, Oronde Gadsden, Tony Martin, Jed Weaver, Hunter Goodwin, Dion Dyer, Jeff Ogden, Ed Perry. Leslie Shepard was a freaking trip, dude. He was awesome. He was one of the coolest dudes I have ever covered in my life. Fridays with Leslie Shepard was awesome. Good dude. Let's see. No, David Boston was here a very short time and was not very sociable. Not necessarily I don't know. I'm not going to say a bad person, but not impressed with him at all. David Boston as a person. Gotta say. When sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
All right. So this story is one that's had legs for a couple of years. I'm kind of on the bandwagon now. I'm believing in it now. Inter Miami willing to offer Lionel Messi an equity stake in the club to convince him to join the team this summer. Although the player's preference is to stay in Europe until 2024 Copa America in order to try and win the Champions League one more time, the question is whether that is still Paris Saint-Germain or another suitable offer presents itself, since the Barcelona hierarchy has so far not even contacted the 35-year-old about a move. Messi has the option of a one-year contract extension with the French champions on exactly the same financial terms, but is currently holding off until he gets concrete answers about the project for next season. PSG are still unable to tell their players' camps who the manager will be or what forward line will look like amid expectations. They will have to offload players to meet financial fair play concerns. Messi has told the club he will make decisions once he has assurances on these issues. While the ongoing uncertainty has fed into expectations that the World Cup winning captain will enjoy an emotional return to Barcelona, the Independent has told Spanish leaders that it has not yet even contacted him about a proposal, let alone a concrete offer. There is a feeling within the football industry that the Catalan club do not have the finances for such a move, and that some of the noise around a return is public relations to try and show that they tried. While Barca manager Xavi has been in constant contact with his former teammate, talking to Messi every single week, there has been no formal approach from the club. The only conversation that Messi's father and Representative George has had with Barcelona president Joan Laporta is last year had been the 20-minute meeting over plans for a tribute for the player before he leaves Europe. There is also a feeling that given the last few seasons, Messi has a better chance of winning the Champions League against at PSG than at Barcelona. While there's been tentative interest from Premier Leagues, there have been no tangible offers. It means now that Qatar remains the first option since it has offered the best chance of winning Europe's Premier League. Al Hilal have meanwhile made Messi a huge offer as part of an extension. Saudi Arabian plans to revive Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo rivalry in the country's top division before a prospective 2030 World Cup bid. The idea would create a new buzz around the Saudi Pro League and try to make it a home of football glamour before the World Cup. Messi is currently reluctant to take up such an offer, though, as he wants to win another Champions League, he wants to add to his legacy after the World Cup. Should it come to that point, there are no suitable offers in Europe. Inter Miami are ready to challenge Al Hilal with a lucrative deal. The David Beckham-owned franchise will offer him an equity stake in the club to join this summer. That comes after a long-time negotiations between Inter and Messi, as well as MLS. George Messi has met with the competition in the past, and there's a plan that the player can prove a transformative figure in the competition's history, especially as he forges new links with U.S. Latin American football community. As it stands, Messi wants at least one more season in Champions League. We shall see. Now, that club in Saudi Arabia is offering $440 million for 1 year. That's good business. $440 million in a year. The problem is now you're playing for the Saudis, and now you've got to carry that burden and everything that comes with it, and it becomes such a negative. Can you handle all of that? Because it's going to be a PR hit. People are going to hold it against you that you're representing the Saudis because of some of the ties that they have. We shall see. We shall see. That, my friends, and you see the QR code right there. Taxes are due. Get that QR code going. We got offices in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Call the great people at KSDT CPA. Business, personal, right now, 305-670-3370. You're late on your business. You want an extension, call them, 305-670-3370. You're looking to do your taxes. You want a company that knows how to do it. Top 200 by Forbes, folks, right here in South Florida. Offices in Dadeland, in Weston, and in West Palm Beach. KSDTCPAs.com, 305-670-3370, or
Hit that QR code right there with your phone and lock it in and hire the best in the business, KSDT CPAs.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. You know, we love talking a little music. Today, on April 6th, in music history, we start off in 1979 on this date. The Doobie Brothers, minute by minute by minute by minute, I keep moving on. By the way, number one album in America on this date back in 1979. Rod Stewart married Alana Hamilton in 1979 on this date, the ex-wife of actor George Hamilton. In 1973, on this date, Queen signed their first recording contract. In 1990, on this date, Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee gave himself a concussion after falling while swinging on a rope that hung on stage on the scaffolding during a show in New Haven, Connecticut. In 2010, on this date, after 12 years of working on other projects, Soundgarden announced they were reuniting. Damn, we lost Cornell. Sucks. What a great voice, man. In 1968, on this date, Pink Floyd announced that singer Syd Barrett had officially left the group. He had been suffering from psychiatric disorders that were worsened by his drug use. In 2004, on this date, Queens of the Stone Age frontman, Eagles of Death metal drummer Josh Homme got into a bar fight in New York's East Village. He sustained an injury that caused the Eagles to cancel their next gig. And in 1987, on this date, Roger Waters' lawyers released a statement claiming the musician would contest the use of Pink Floyd's name by anyone else, including former band members of the band, because he believed himself to be the creative driving force behind the group. In 1974, on this date, ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones premiered at the New York's Ziegfeld Theater. It was the first film with quadraphonic sound. Yeah, baby. Got to have that quadraphonic sound. If you didn't have the quadraphonic sound back in the day, you didn't have the cool stereo. So that's it. You had to have the 4 speakers, right? And even the speaker on it would say quadraphonic sound. That was like the coolest thing. Let's see. Quadraphonic sound made you cool. A beta player made you cool. A VHS player made you cool. MTV in stereo. If you connected it to your stereo speakers, you were cool. Right? You first person that got a computer in the neighborhood, super cool, right? First to get a projection screen, super cool, right? Nobody had seen that. You know, certain things, right, will make you really cool in the neighborhood. Man, I remember we used to go to my friend's house that had a beta player, and that was like the biggest thing in the world. And it was ginormous. It was big literally, too, because it was like this high and about this wide. It was a giant piece of machinery, brother, to run the tape. Oh, man. Edwin Robles says Bob Lee, Cash App founder, was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. About what? What I hear?
He left San Francisco and moved to Miami because he was worried about there. He went back for a business trip, extended it for 1 day. That was the day he was stabbed.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have the problems they do.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we have some idiotic stuff go on, but what goes on in California is just it's ridiculous. It really is. And then the worst part is some idiots will say Newsom should run for president. Like, really? Like, he's a bigger waste than Biden. And Biden's a waste. Messi wants to own part of a club. Yeah. No, I think, Frankie, what they have to do is give him an entire club. Like they did with Beckham. It's what Alex Winley was on with us in the first hour, and then we had that conversation. I gave her my ideas on that. And it's not going to be one of the clubs that are going to expand right away now, but down the line in a couple years, you're going to get to 34 clubs. So that, like that club that's 33 or 34, by that time, Messi would have retired here after 2 or 3 years, and then he can start his own. That's why I say you give him a stake of Inter, and then you give him his own expansion team. So when he retires, he can then sell his stake in Inter. And remember, after he plays in Inter for 2 or 3 years, the value of Inter is going to go through the roof. So then he'll sell it at a high. He'll make his money. Then he starts his expansion team. And expansion team costs $500 million. And in 2 or 3 years, it'll probably be $600, $700 million. So you're giving him $600, $700 million. And then he starts his own team, his own club. That's it. So Messi owns a club, Beckham owns a club, that kind of stuff. And then that adds to the cachet of your league, overall. That's what I would do if I'm them. The Moss brothers give them a solid salary. You get a couple of big-time sponsors step up to give them some more money. You give them a cut of your team, and you give them an expansion team. And that's it. It's over. He's going to make $1 billion by the time it's all said and done from all that stuff. So, there you go. Barcelona knows bringing Messi back, the revenue would increase dramatically. The way they can get him, Barcelona will offer a partial partnership. We shall see. We shall see, Frankie. I don't know if they would add. I don't think Barcelona would give him any ownership. But that would be a way to get him for sure. So, you want a Where Are They Now segment, Edward? That might not be a bad thing sometimes. Miss Pac-Man cabinet video game made you cool. Yeah, well, if you had a cabinet video game, any of them, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Defenders, Asteroids, I don't care which one. You were pretty damn cool if you had a friend of yours that had I know I had a pinball machine years ago, man. Years ago when I was a kid, I was literally, my dad got me a pinball machine, and I was maybe 12, 14 years old, and a legit pinball machine. And we had it there in the garage, and yeah, it was I was popular. We had the kids come over for sure. Yeah, I remember that. That's the only time that I was like the cool kid in the block. I didn't have the big screen. I didn't have the beta. I didn't have any of that, but I did get a pinball machine once, and that was cool. Everybody wanted to play the damn pinball machine. Big O, for the feds to announce this new digital pay app around the same time as the Cash App owner. No, it's just you're talking about CBDCs. They've been at this for a while. Such a scam. Such a scam. I was a pinball wizard for a while. I was. No doubt. I could do it with the best of them. So, would the Ravens have the balls to draft a quarterback? That's the question. Eric DeCosta was asked yesterday in his press conference about, is quarterback an option because of the whole Lamar Jackson situation? And he said, well, that's something that we could look at, and there are several quarterbacks, but, they didn't make it sound like they were moving on from Lamar. They're committed to Lamar. They want Lamar, but he made it sound like they would be interested. And let me tell you something. If you're the Ravens, you got to know by now we're going to get him to a long-term contract or not. And if you don't think you're going to get him to a long-term contract, I say you draft a quarterback if you can this year. Yeah. You got to plan ahead. Because if it gets really bitter, what's he going to do? Hold out? And if he wants to do the Le'Veon Bell thing, then that's incredibly stupid. But if he wants to at least play for a year, and then they could try to move you, but you also picked up a quarterback and you're trying to develop him too. If I'm them, now the problem is, if you draft a quarterback, is there a chance to bring Lamar back now still? But if you draft a quarterback, will Lamar ever want to come back? Maybe not. Maybe he's going to feel completely insulted by the move. But it puts the Ravens in a difficult position. But here's the thing. The Ravens have all the leverage in the negotiations here right now. And by the way, Because I saw Omar retweet something that Josina wrote and all this stuff about, what Lamar could do. And then, Omar was like, well, she's right that, Lamar doesn't have any leverage. And let me tell you something. I'm not feeling sorry for Lamar. He doesn't have any leverage because he's dumb. Okay? If he actually would have hired an agent, he would have had a contract 2 years ago. Tom Condon, Drew Rosenhaus, whoever, whatever damn agent you want to name in the business would have gotten a deal done for him 2 years ago. And he could have then already started coming up to the point where he can re-up it if he wants to. Create options after 2 years or something like that. Or player option where you didn't play so well, you pick up your player option. You played outstanding, you cancel the contract and get a new one and a new signing bonus and a new deal. All of these things can be done, but you're too stupid to understand what you're doing because you want to be cheap. Cheap people get what they deserve a lot of times. Okay? We've all hung around cheap people. Clearly, Lamar Jackson is a cheap dude. Okay? Clearly. But if you've hung around your dad, your mom, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your friend, cheap people do ridiculous things. And they embarrass themselves, and they usually make bad decisions because they're trying to be cheap. And what usually does, we have a saying in Spanish that is, lo barato sale caro. The cheap comes out expensive. And this is already expensive. And what I mean by that is you are already costing yourself money, young man. You should have been earning new money 2 years ago. But you're too stupid not to pick up an agent. So now you've put yourself in a position with no leverage whatsoever. Nobody to blame but Lamar Jackson and his family. Because obviously they're part of it. And they're part of this mistake. And they're screwing their own blood. And there's nobody there to talk any sense into them. So I don't feel sorry for Lamar Jackson. He wants to screw up his career like Le'Veon Bell did, then you go ahead, bro, be a moron. But there's a lot of good agents out there you could have had, and they all line up to represent you, and you have failed miserably. If I'm the Ravens, I'm drafting a quarterback. I'm drafting a quarterback because I must gain even more leverage. Oh, you don't want to sign? That's fine. We're moving forward. Hey, whenever you want to come and sign, you can sign. Oh, I want to get traded. No, that's not the way it goes. You want to come? You can play. And here's your 1-year contract now. Now you're going to play on the tender. Oh, and we can tag you 2 more times after that. Good luck. That's what I would do. Play hardball. Nobody's going to give you the 2 first-rounders anyway. Okay? That's silliness. Nobody looks at Lamar Jackson like, yeah, he's worth 2 first-rounders and a $200 million contract. Not one damn person's going to do that because he's not that good as a quarterback. Really stupid. You couldn't be more dumb the way you're mishandling this situation if you're Lamar Jackson. It's an embarrassment, to be quite honest. So you're ruining a great you ruined a great opportunity for you by letting it get to this point. And here's the other thing. You gambled on yourself and you lost. You had a mediocre season because you gambled on yourself. You tried to live from the pocket, because I watched it a lot, and your team ended up settling for a lot of field goals because you're not a good passer. But, hey, some of you out there, you can make up whatever you want about the kid. He ain't that good. He's just a freak athlete, and he can run like the wind, and that creates a mismatch for him. But overall, when it gets to the playoffs, they shut that thing down, and they force him to beat you with the arm, and he's never going to do it. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I am looking for a quarterback, and if the right one falls to me in that first, second, or third rounds, I'm taking a guy. Because the guy you have there now, yeah, I know he's a Pro Bowler, but he sucks. He's terrible. I can see Baltimore doing that. They drafted Lamar when they had Flacco. Yep. There was a Play World in Pompano Beach on Federal Highway that we used to go to. Hey, there was a water bogging in Pompano Beach that I used to go to. That's my favorite thing that I ever did in Pompano Beach, water bogging. Love water bogging. Spooky Myers says, that's why dead set on the money. He thinks the organization owes him for the last few years when he was cheap. Not how it works, unfortunately. Exactly. He wants too many guarantees. George Costanza was a notoriously cheap dude. Yeah. Well, Lamar Jackson has got a lot of Costanza in him, and it's so stupid. My God, dude, you're worried about 1 or 2%. It won't even, for a guy like Lamar, he doesn't have to give up the 3%. That's the max. It's such a sweet contract that a lot of agents would probably take just 1%. So think about this. So in $200 million, you got to give the agent $2 million. Really, dude? Like, that's what you're worried about? When you go to a restaurant, you pay 18, 20%. You pay a lot more. You pay a bigger percentage to everybody else practically in anything else that you tip. 1% or 2% is not really a lot. And $2 million out of $200 million is nothing, dude. Really? You can't sleep at night because you have to give your agent $2 million out of $200. You think he doesn't deserve it? You don't think he works his ass off to set you up? My God, it's an embarrassment, bro. Like, if he was my buddy, I would rip him 10 assholes. Okay? Seriously. He would look like he's just leaking out from everywhere when I'm done with him if he was my friend. Because I would care about him. I'd say, bro, what are you, stupid? Because I certainly would not be a yes man guy, because that's not who I am. Oh, yeah, dude, yeah, you're doing great. You're fantastic. Girl, somebody will give you $300 million. You hang in there, bro. Lamar, I love you, brother. You and I have been hanging out since we were kids. What the hell are you doing, dude? What the hell are you doing? You don't want to give your agent $2 million out of $200 million. How cheap can you be, dude? I mean, if you're that ridiculous, Lamar Jackson, you must suck at tipping in restaurants, bro. You must be an embarrassment when you go to restaurants. You must be one of those dudes. You must be one of those guys. Like no tipping Pippin. Like, you must be one of those guys that they talk about. Think about that. They're going to hand you $200 million guaranteed, and you're worried about giving $2 million to your agent. Do you know what kind of a joke that is? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, the way I see it, Lamar will be out of the league in a year. His family is gaslighting him. Well, he's doing it himself too. It's not so much his family, but the sad part is there's probably nobody in the family to straighten his ass out. Nobody to rattle his cage. He doesn't even have a real friend. Okay? Any of you guys that are hanging around Lamar Jackson, you're nothing, bro. You're just schmucks. You're just yes men is what you are around Lamar. You're an embarrassment. You're not even actually being a friend. Because somebody should reach him and say, yo, bro, get your head out of your ass. Seriously. Like, you're too cheap to give away $2 million out of $200. Get out of here, bro. That's just stupid. It's you're hurting your own career because of that. Awesome Holy Thursday with resting time to tune in to Big O. Thank you, Willie. The problem is that Lamar is in deep right now, so if he hires an agent or accepts anything lower, he feels like he hurt his image. Bro, Frankie, forget the image. Build up the pockets. Who cares, bro? It's about the bank account, man. There ain't no image here. Go out and kick ass on the field. That's what's going to erase everything. Balling on the field. Nobody will say anything if you're a baller. I disagree, man. I think it's just ignorance on his part. It's embarrassing, dude. You're worried about giving up $2 million out of $200. It's a joke. I gladly give my agent $2 million if right. What are you doing, Sean? They negotiated a $200 million contract. You wouldn't give your agent $2 million for negotiating a $200 million. You know that if I won $200 million right now, I'd give you $2 million and you didn't negotiate shit. You know that, right?
No, I would give it.
No, but I would right now. If I won the lottery right now and I won $200 million, I guarantee you I'd give you easily $2 million right now.
No, yeah, definitely.
Because I love you and I know you've worked your ass off like I have, and I say, hey man, here you go. Let's go enjoy life. Why wouldn't you give your agent $2 million? Because let me tell you something. I've been in this business a long time. Tons of agent will take 1% for that deal. Yeah. Tons of them. Because it's not so much that you didn't get the max out of it for money, but if you did get them a great deal, it's going to lead to other
deals. And that 1% and 1%.
And those will be 3. No, those will be 3.
But even if it's 1% on each one, you end up adding up. I mean,
of course.
You got 10 players and you're getting
$2 million
each from each one. I mean, it's a
you're
good
making
day.
A lot of money,
bro. Day there.
But $2 million is a joke out of 200, bro.
Yeah, but some people, I mean, they're
just ridiculous, right?
They're ridiculous. And they think it's just easy. They think like, well, if they can do it, then we should be able to do it. Why not? Why can't we do it? But they don't understand the relationships and the thing. The stories you've said where one guy got a tryout or something because the person he knew, and then he made some money off of that deal.
Right.
Those are the things you pay for the agent. It's they sit in those rooms and hear how
they know all these GMs, bro. They know how they think. They know everything.
They
you
hear
don't
all the terrible stuff and keep that from you, which is now I think more reason why this is where it is at now. Now it's become personal because, again, he never had an agent at the beginning, so they had to tell somebody what they thought of him or his family. Or
did you see the Rosenhaus segment on McAfee yesterday?
Oh no, I haven't watched that yet.
So in the middle of that segment. Some of the other guys ask questions. Pac-Man Jones is one of the guys now on the show, right?
On there, yeah.
So he goes, hey, Pac-Man's got a question for you. So he goes, Drew, how many general managers do you know in the league? Name 10 of them. And he goes, well, Pac, I know all 32. And he started naming and and he easily got to 10 right away. And he goes, that's enough. And he goes, that's awesome because Lamar Jackson doesn't know one of them. He goes, the only guy he knows is the guy in Baltimore. That's it. He doesn't know anybody else. And, Pac-Man was like, this is why you need, because they were like messing with Drew. Like, they were having Drew like sell himself to Lamar. You know what I mean? And it was just, and it just makes all the sense in the world that you would hire somebody that's a professional that does the things that you don't do, bro. How many times do I sit here and say,
you pay for convenience?
How many times do I sit here and say, I can't do what you do. I don't know what you're doing, all that. And I never sit here going, oh, yeah, no, I can do what Sean does all the time. No, bro, you got to pay people for what they do. That's their jobs. They're professionals. He's a professional. He's exceptional at that. I am not. You know what I mean? So I have no problem that he gets his slice of the pie because he effing deserves it. But it's like, if you're Lamar, brother, outside of your family, that's the next most important person in your world. Okay? Your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, whatever. Then your agent.
Not for Lamar.
Yeah, apparently not.
But also, it's the convenience thing, right? For the player, that's one less thing. I got enough stuff going on to have to worry about everything else. And now
so I got to worry about being an agent and a football player. You're right. And carry the burden, and then listen to them tell them you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah. And that I believe that is the reason
very damaging.
Is where it's at right now, because it's like, wait a minute, this is what you feel about me, and this is, and hey,
that's screwed up, dude. Gordon says any agent would jump at the shot to rep Lamar. Just the fame they would get for fixing this mess would earn legendary status. Amen, Gordon. You're 1,000% right, dude. When you rat, and you rat. I say would give his fans 48 million in Bitcoin. Oh, would I love to have 48 million in Bitcoin. Let's see. Knight, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, yes, pay me, Big O. 8 million, a pro commentator. By the way, where is, speaking of Bitcoin, still stuck there? Yep, we're stuck at 28, bro. We've been stuck at 28 for 2 weeks now. This thing's going to bust out any moment now. And I'm really getting the feeling like this is going to be a big time bust out. Well, it was nice start. Atlas up 11% this morning. Now it's back down to barely 1%. It's like, damn, there was a nice little pump for a short amount of time, and then it came back down again. Oh, man. Anyway, remember, you can also make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Don't forget to hit the hell out of the like button. It is very important that you hit the like button, folks. That gets the algorithms going out there. Big O, keep us in mind when you sign your next contract for $200 million, okay? I will. Once I get my next $200 million contract, you guys are next. I mean, first comes Sean, but then you guys, yes. Lamar Jackson hasn't filed his taxes, waiting on his new contract. Oh, man. Anyway, we are out of here, folks. We thank Alex Winley. If you missed that interview, talking a little Inter Miami, you can go back and check it out. Alan Poupart, of course, our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Isais, again, thank you, sir. Making a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Donating a little Bitcoin, Isais. Thank you very much. Very nice of you. Big O, Sean has his own wrestling promotion. Okay. Yep, that's right. We'll even see once we hit the lottery, then we'll make his job bigger. Once I hit the 200 million, we'll make his wrestling show even bigger.
Listen, first off, I don't want my own wrestling promotion.
No?
I don't know. No. If I got the money, I'm not putting it into somebody else's pocket.
No, you're retiring.
Not necessarily retiring, but I'm going to live a little bit better. I'm not going to lie there.
Damn right. Damn Skippy. All right, support us. Support our great sponsors out there, folks. Our amazing sponsors, like you see Essential Moving Experts there. You know, we got Acura Pembroke Pines, obviously EJD Construction, you know, Cutter's Edge Pro, Welt and Rayom, the best law office in town, baby. So support. What did Pat in Nashville put?
We got to start over. He just got logged on. He wants us to restart the show.
Well, all you got to do is grab that little red button at the bottom and slide it all the way to the beginning. Pat in Nashville. Pat, I'll see you, bro. Appreciate you big time. Hopefully we'll get your cure ticket this week. Hopefully our man Greep is successful getting the tickets for us. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually going to get my flight this weekend. I was told Sundays are the best days to book flights. Is that true? Somebody told me Sundays the prices are the cheapest. So I'm going to wait till Sunday to get my ticket to Raleigh-Durham. If it's not true, give me the skinny on that on Twitter, DM, or Instagram, or on email at bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. But yeah, so see you next month, Pat. All right, we are out of here. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, last 2 days we've been afternoon. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. live from Acura of Pembroke Pines. See you all tomorrow. Sean Stanley, thank you, sir.